and we will go to Anfield, and this will be our base, all the goals as they grin. I'm sure Ian Dennis will echo those words.
I would indeed like to echo those thoughts. I think the book of Sports Report is still available in all good bookshops, and I'm sure that Pat will hope that his game today is better than the first game that he watched, Leicester against Watford back in December 1981, for his first appearance on Sports Report, as today will be his last. That was a 1-1 draw in the old second division. But Pat, yes, you will most definitely be missed. We are underway here at Anfield. Liverpool against Nottingham Forest. It is 0-0. Liverpool are all in red. They're playing from left to right as we look. Attacking the Kop end against the Nottingham Forest side, who are all in white. 5 changes then in total that Liverpool have made, with Alisson back, Jones, Kerkez, Isak and Gakpo for Mamardashvili, Bradley, Robertson, Ekitike and Wirtz. Bradley and Wirtz are out injured with muscular injuries picked up on international duty. So Alisson is in goal. Szoboszlai is the one who's playing at right back, with Van Dijk, Konate and Kerkez, Jones, Gravenberch and McAllister in the midfield, Salah, Isak and Gakpo. As for Nottingham Forest, they're unchanged. They're playing from right to left, all in white. Sells in goals, Savona, Milenkovic, Murillo and Williams against his former club. Anderson and Sangari in the midfield, with Dominguez, Gibbs-White and Doy and Igor Jesus. Paul Robinson.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough test for Liverpool today. There's a very different Nottingham Forest side with Sean Dyche in charge. They've started scoring more goals. That's one thing that they didn't do at the beginning of the season. Scored as many in the last 3 as they have under Sean Dyche as they did in the previous 8. So he's certainly had an impact. We were talking about it pre-game. He's played it down. He's trying to keep expectations real, but I think he'll have half an eye on Nottingham Forest coming here today and doing some kind of job on Liverpool.
Well, that was a sharp turn by Gibbs-White, but he's out-muscled in the midfield, although unfairly, says our referee, who's Andy Madley, the man in the middle, and he's penalised McAllister for a challenge on Gibbs-White, who was so sharp, wasn't he? Quick sort of like spin away and then brought down in a central area and within shooting distance for this free kick.
It was a good ball into him from Murillo. Great footwork from Morgan Gibbs-White, turns on a sixpence and runs straight to the heart of the Liverpool defence. Immediately you can see what he was forward thinking, immediately ran at the defence. McAllister took him down from behind, and this is probably a little bit too far out for Nottingham Forest, but they're certainly going to load the box.
It's 30 yards out from goal. It is central. In fact, it's probably a shade further away than 30 yards, and Anderson is going to leave this for Murillo. So the big Brazilian is going to trundle his way up from defence. And whether it's going to be a pile driver at the minute, he takes a good steps back. The Nottingham Forest supporters in anticipation are watching on. The arms are aloft. It is going to be Murillo, and he does hit it. He tries to place it rather than going for power, but then going for power was, and in the end, an effort from Dominguez, which was sky high off his right boot and into the Anfield Road end. Goal kick, 0-0.
A strange one from Murillo. Long way out to have a strike, and you expect him to put his laces through it, hit the target and cause the goalkeeper a problem. He goes with a side foot. I'm not even sure that I'd have reached the goalkeeper.
Birmingham City leading Norwich by a 1-0 at St Andrews. Philippe Clement, his first game in charge, and it hasn't started well, Shojo Saka.
Birmingham 1, Norwich 0. What a nightmare start for Philippe Clement. It was a ball over the top and a simple cross by Damari Gray, and a tap in for Marvin Duksch to get his first goal for Birmingham since he signed in the summer. Birmingham 1, Norwich 0.
Szoboszlai tidies up from right back to Alisson, back in the side, the Brazilian international, after an 8-game absence. We were out in Istanbul in the Champions League when he picked up that hamstring injury. He returns as Anderson picks up a ball here, the England international for Nottingham Forest, and then to Murillo. There's still no Chris Wood, incidentally. I think the club were hopeful that he'd be able to return after the international break, but unable to do so at this stage. As we welcome listeners to the BBC World Service, to here at Anfield, there is a patch of blue sky as we look from our lofty position here at Anfield. So wherever you are in the world, it is always a pleasure to have your company with us on a Saturday afternoon. The usual goal service on Sports Extra. You can find that through the BBC Sounds app. Fulham against Sunderland. But here on 5 Live and the World Service, it is Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 0, 5 minutes played and no real chances. As Konate out towards Salah. And Salah up against Williams, who shows him on the outside, and Salah obliges, but Williams comes back at him, takes it off his toes. Last touch was off Williams. Corner kick to Liverpool.
Yeah, good from Mo Salah. Gets the ball immediately, runs at Williams. He knows he's got the pace to get round him. Williams does actually really well. His positional sense allows him to get back in, get the slightest little touch on it and give Liverpool a corner, which is looking like Salah's going to take on this near side.
Mansfield Town 0, Huddersfield 1 in the Scottish Premiership. Falkirk are leading at Tannadice. Dundee United 0, Falkirk 1. Liverpool have a corner kick right hand side. Salah to take it. An expectant crowd in the early stages here. Right arm aloft, left-footed. In it goes, crowded. Headed out by Gibbs-White, only as far as Kirkes, pushes the ball to Gakpo. Gakpo now clips over the cross. Konate stayed forward, couldn't get the touch, and it goes all the way through and out for a goal kick. 0-0, we're going racing. It's the Betfair chase, it's at Haydock. Here's Darren Owen.
With 4 to jump and course specialist Royal Pagaille, who was the complete outsider just before the off, has the lead, looking to win this race for the 3rd time. The favourite Grey Dawning now cruising along, moving into a menacing 2nd place. Handstands is 3rd, Stellar Story 4th. Disappointment of the race is Haiti Kalou, who has pulled up with 4 to jump. Meanwhile, the leader is at the 3rd last fence, the open ditch, and it's Royal Pagaille in front. But at the moment, jockey Harry Skelton is having an armchair experience aboard the favourite Grey Dawning. He hasn't moved a muscle, but still in there pitching his handstands. 2nd last fence jump now. Mistake there from Royal Pagaille, and still Harry has not moved on Grey Dawning. Handstands driven along, but he's still only about a length or so down. 3 horses in close contention. 1 more fence to jump. Royal Pagaille joined by Grey Dawning, the 1-2 from last year. Now they're on the run in with about 150 yards to go. Grey Dawning eases to the front. This has been an ever so easy armchair experience for Harry Skelton. Grey Dawning reverses the tables on course specialist Royal Pagaille in lifting the Betfair chase, and it's close for 3rd between Stellar Story and Handstands. The favourite, number 1, Grey Dawning, continues the great run this season of trainer Dan Skelton and brother Harry, and 2nd place Royal Pagaille, who's gone down fighting, but Grey Dawning mightily impressive, and Harry Skelton ever so cheeky.
Thank you, Darren. Here at Anfield remains Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 0. It's 5 Live Sport. Liverpool are on attack. Gakpo does well, left-hand side of the penalty area, comes out towards McAllister. What a block that was! It seemed goal-bound. And Szoboszlai keeps it alive. Gakpo outside the area, shuffles the ball back out wide. Kirkes draws it in low. 2nd chance for McAllister, blocked, and then in the end Dominguez heads it behind for a corner. Forest are rocking. I think it was Anderson, was it, Paul?
It's an incredible block. It really is an incredible block from Elliot Anderson. Gakpo does really well on the left-hand side. He gets into the Liverpool penalty area, when the opposition's penalty area. He knows that the Nottingham Forest defenders can't touch him. Slides the ball across the box. It goes through Milenkovic's legs, goes through Elliot Anderson's legs, and it comes out to McAllister. Hits it with his left foot, but Anderson's got himself back. Goal side of the ball. It's a wonderful block. It really is.
In comes the corner kick on the right. Konate was there. Murillo heads it out. It really was it rocks him back, but he headed it away. It was struck with real force from McAllister. Liverpool are still attacking. Szoboszlai lays it off to Jones, showed too much towards Anderson, and then the ball goes back towards the centre circle.
You know what made it even better? Because it was his legs that the ball initially went through. Gakpo cut in from the left and he fired it through Milenkovic and Anderson's legs. He almost didn't know where he was, but he had the positional awareness to turn his body round, to just instinct get back on the goal line. And McAllister really hit it with some venom with his left foot, and it was a superb block.
Certainly was. That's Paul Robinson, who's with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Northampton Town 0, Cardiff City 1. Barnsley lead Luton Town by a goal to 0. And at Meadow Lane, Notts County 1, Colchester 0. And at Gresty Road, Crewe 0, Chesterfield 1 is the latest score in League 2. Jones, lovely back heel from this right touch line. Opens it up for Szoboszlai, edge of the area, slows it down. McAllister then switches play towards Kirkes. He goes to the left corner of the area for Gakpo. Won't go with him though, the ball. Is it just stuck in between his feet? So Gakpo then has to play a ball which is rather awkward for Szoboszlai to control, and it will go out for a Forest throw. 10 minutes played at Anfield. It is 0-0. And where will we go next, I wonder? Brighton against Brentford.
0-0, Brentford starting well, but Brighton with the first eye-catching chance of the game, set up by Minte, twisting and turning on the right. There was Mats Vifa, right foot shot, well saved by Kelleher. The resulting corner headed over by Ruter. Brighton 0, Brentford 0.
Thank you, Chris Coles at the Amex. Tranmere lead MK Dons by a goal to 0. Rangers have taken the lead against Livingston 1-0. We'll get news of that from Kenny Crawford in a moment. Ball goes long for Forest. Jesus will give chase. Ball picked up by Allison. I was reading the match programme last night, Paul, and it was interesting that both Arne Slot...
How long have you been here?
I had an advance copy. And Virgil van Dijk were talking about the importance of being back at home, the atmosphere that was created in the previous games against Aston Villa and Real Madrid, and looking for that sort of intensity.
and you could see it in the warm-up. Van Dijk and Konate, when the players just finished the warm-up, they went down to do the fast feet drill just in front of the Kop, and they were encouraging the crowd. They were trying to G the crowd up and get the atmosphere. I mean, the atmosphere is always superb inside this stadium, but there's a fizz about Liverpool today already.
Salah sent away on the right-hand side. Williams closes him down, has to concede the corner kick. Liverpool are coming forward at every opportunity. Swindon Town are leading Grimsby by 1-0. We'll get news of that goal very, very soon. But here is Mo Salah waiting to take the corner. No other goals to tell you about around the country. In fact, Salah will leave it and he will walk away for Szoboszlai to take it.
The interesting thing with this Liverpool formation, with Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones, they're almost a hybrid right back. They're taking it in turns to drop into the midfield to make the extra man. And it's as though they're both playing in that right back hybrid midfield role. They're swapping and changing. Nottingham Forest finding it difficult to defend against down this right-hand side.
It's going to be an outswing of this from this near side to right. Szoboszlai, right-footed. Van Dijk, having his shirt pulled, drops towards Anderson and he sweeps it away. We'll go to the county ground then for news of that goal at League Two. Jacob Culshaw.
Yeah, Swindon 1, Grimsby 0. Billy Bowden coming into the side with a long throw from the right, and Swindon's target man, Ollie Palmer, nods in off the post to give the host the opener. Swindon 1, Grimsby 0.
Straight to Bournemouth, there's been a goal, Sahel Sahi.
After 11 minutes, Bournemouth 0, West Ham United 1. A big punt upfield by Areola, controlled on his chest by Callum Wilson, ex of Bournemouth, 25 yards out, slammed it home. Bournemouth 0, West Ham 1.
Salah was almost getting the ball back from McAllister, and it was Murillo who got there and he clattered the ball away long. And Forest is certainly having to be alert in their defending.
Yeah, had to defend on some set pieces as well. That ball there from Szoboszlai from the corner, it was a really good out-swinging ball. Interesting, Van Dijk has been picked up by Dan Adoy. I mean, it's quite much of a mismatch, if you like. One to keep an eye on.
Here is Kirkes again, coming forward on that far side the left. Gets the return ball back from Gakpo, just in front of the Kop. Can't work over the corner first time. Tracking back with him was Ndoye. And they're going to need that today, I sense, Nottingham Forest. But Dan Ndoye did well. And in fact, the last touch came off the Liverpool left back and it goes out for a goal kick as Huddersfield have increased their lead at Field Mill in League One. Mansfield Town 0, Huddersfield Town 2. Paul.
Kirkes on the far side, he wants the corner, but Liverpool are doing that well. They're having the joy in the wide areas. Salah on this right hand side, Gakpo on the left hand side, but that time it was Kirkes going round his outside. Nottingham Forest struggling to get any real kind of foothold in this game other than the early free kick. It's been very, very stop start. You can hear the boos in the background. That sells the goalkeeper, taking his time with the goal kicks, looking for set plays.
That's Paul Robinson, the former England international goalkeeper. As a current England international, Anderson gets away from Jones to Gibbs White. Gibbs White, who was left out of the last England squad, pushes Ndoye wide on that right. He still clips over the cross. Plenty of loft on that. Almost drops towards Jesus, and Szoboszlai is tucked in to clear the ball away. We told you that Rangers were leading. Here are details of it from Kenny Crawford.
Yeah, 12 minutes gone, it's Rangers 1, Livingston 0. It was a brilliant header by Emmanuel Fernandez, but Jadon Gassama nearly makes it 2. It was saved well by Jerome Pryor. The goal, Fernandez, came from James Tavernier's corner, in off the bar. Rangers 1, Livingston 0.
Williams swings over the cross, and Gravenberch dangled a leg at that, and in the end it went all the way out for a goal kick. I was here last season when Nottingham Forest won by 1-0. They got their first win at Anfield in 28 attempts since 1969. It was Arne Slot's first goal that he'd conceded as a Liverpool manager, first defeat that he'd suffered. But that day, the game plan was sit back, and then they brought off Elanga and Hudson-Odoi off the bench, and it was a great goal actually from Hudson-Odoi. Here though, Nottingham Forest are showing a little bit more ambition on this occasion.
Well, they have done with Sean Dyche. That's one thing that they had to change when he came as the manager. They're averaging more shots per game now, 13, averaging more XG, 1.6. The stats are all better in a forward area. I mean, they're still one of four sides not to win away from home, but they're certainly not sat in a low block. Yes, you're not going to come to Anfield and dominate possession, but actually they're looking to press and close down higher up the pitch.
Quarter of an hour played, and it remains 0-0 as Van Dijk strokes the ball out towards Gakpo midway through the Nottingham Forest half on that far side, the left, and then back towards Kirkes, and the Liverpool captain again nonchalantly just passes the ball towards Szoboszlai, and Szoboszlai's forward towards Salah, and Williams goes up against him. Jones then lays it off, right corner of the area, Szoboszlai and Jones. Dominguez is tracking the run of Jones. McAllister comes across as well. Szoboszlai can't get the better of Anderson. We'll check in at Craven Cottage. Charlie Slater.
15 minutes gone, Fulham 0, Sunderland 0. Fulham have started really well, dominating the ball, but the best chance so far has fallen to Sunderland. Bertrand Traore down the right hand side, one-on-one the keeper, really well saved by Leno. 0-0.
Here is Jones from the throw. McAllister works it to Szoboszlai. Salah is free. He finds him inside the area. Here is Salah. Oh, that's nice footwork. Still going Salah. Then Click sends over a low cross. Kirkes stubs it over the top. Goal kick. Wonderful approach play by Mo Salah. Kirkes just couldn't apply the finish.
Oh, Mo Salah, that was him at his best. Absolutely superb from Mo Salah on this right-hand side. Gets into the penalty box. He twists and he turns inside out. He's got 3 Nottingham Forest players all around him trying to defend it. They know they can't touch him because as soon as they do, it'll be a penalty. Takes 3 of them out the game, puts the ball across the 6-yard box with his right foot. Connection from Kirkes wasn't quite what he would have wanted, but they are actually stopping. They're checking there's a connection on him from a Nottingham Forest defender. See if there was any foul on Kirkes. It's been checked and it's been cleared. Another good opportunity for Liverpool.
Colchester United have equalised at Notts County. It's 1-1 in League 2, and in League 2 there has been another goal. Jacob Culshaw.
Yeah, and 5 minutes after the opener, Swindon have a second. Billy Bowden involved in the first goal when he scored the second as well, shaping his effort into the top right-hand corner. The perfect start for Ian Holloway's side. Swindon 2, Grimsby 0.
Huddersfield Town have made a perfect start. They're now 3-0 up at Mansfield. Mansfield 0, Huddersfield 3. Wickham lead Lincoln City by a 1-0 in League 1. And in the Championship, Queen's Park Rangers 0, Hull City 1. And at Rugby Park in the Scottish Premiership, Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 1 is the latest score. 0-0 here at Anfield. Gravenberch's early ball towards Salah. Salah now looks for the run of Isak. We've hardly mentioned the name of Isak. Sells in all blue, comes out and clears long for Nottingham Forest. Pat Murphy at Molineux.
It's 0-0 against Palace, but Palace should be ahead. Pino, a lovely quick pass to Mateta, 1-on-1, drew the keeper, rolled it past the left post. Wolves 0, Palace 0.
Bayern Munich were 2-0 down at home to Freiburg. They are yet to lose this season. They go to Arsenal in the Champions League in midweek, but they have now pulled it back. Bayern Munich 2, Freiburg 2. We will have commentary of that on Wednesday night. Paris Saint-Germain, Tottenham, incidentally, will be on Sports Extra on Wednesday. Chelsea, Barcelona will be our offering on 5 Live Sport, with Manchester City, Bayer Leverkusen on Sports Extra on Tuesdays. The Champions League returns next week. But we've got so much Premier League football to bring you. Before then, 0-0 here at Anfield between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest, as the ball goes out of play on that far side, and Liverpool will take it eventually with Kirkes, and Kirkes goes all the way back towards Van Dijk. Let's get news of that goal at Queen's Park Rangers. Rich Wolfenden.
QPR 0, Hull City 1. Joe Gelhardt with the goal. It was a long ball out to the right-hand side. It seemed like an improbable angle for Joe Gelhardt to strike it, but he did. He found the gap behind the side of Ben Hamer, and it's QPR 0, Hull City 1.
Here is McAllister under pressure, back towards Van Dijk on the halfway line. In the Rugby Union, Wales-New Zealand, it's live on Sports Extra 2. Owen Gwyneth.
First try of the day to New Zealand after 4 minutes. Caleb Clark going in on the left-hand side with a good power play from the All Black pack. Wales barely touched the ball. Wales 0, New Zealand 7.
Here is Gravenberch towards McAllister. Liverpool in all red, playing from left to right. This is Van Dijk. Isak has actually wandered across towards the right-hand side. He can't seem to get involved in the game.
Struggling to get a touch, isn't he? I think he's had 1, if not 2 touches in the whole game so far. And what are we, 19 minutes into the game? Liverpool have kept possession really well, and they've worked the ball well in wide areas, but Isak really struggling to get any kind of foothold in the game.
Salah right-hand side, round the back, sends it across. Excellent defending by Svoboda. He was tucked in and got there before Gakpo could react. Szoboszlai backheels the ball. Salah, right-hand side, loses out to Anderson. So effective in the midfield, whether it's for Nottingham Forest or indeed for England. And he's done well again in a really condensed area of the field, as the ball is cleared long by Nottingham Forest. And there's been another goal at Ibrox. Kenny Crawford.
They're checking it for a possible offside, but if it stands, it'll be Rangers 1, Livingston 1. Long ball over the top by Stevie May. Mix up in the Rangers defence, and Tete Yenge, the Australian striker, poked it beyond Jack Butland. We'll keep you posted on whether it counts or not.
Cheers, Kenny. I think Arne Slot ideally would have wanted Alexander Isak to play a lot more for Sweden during the international games. He only managed 28 minutes in the 4-1 defeat against Switzerland. I thought with that in mind he might not necessarily start here today, but they'll be keen to get some minutes in him as the ball goes long for Forest towards Gibbs-White, who shows his strength, runs out towards the right-hand side, gets the ball back from Ndoye, and as is customary, of course, 20th minute, the tributes for Diogo Jota, as the Liverpool supporters sing about the Portuguese international, and his name rings around Anfield. It is as powerful today as it's always been, as Sangare holds his balance, then falls over inside the area, stays down, and Liverpool will clear through Kirkes.
Yeah, the referee's made a mess of that. He played advantage for Sangare. He was going to give him a free kick on the edge of the box. He's allowed him advantage, and within 2 seconds he goes into the box, and he's still down, he's injured, he's claiming a foul. They'll check now on the VAR. It looks like he was tripped inside the Liverpool penalty area. There was definitely a foul outside the box. The referee allowed him to play on, which in turn he went into the box, and then he feels he was fouled. He's currently laid on the floor. The referee's going into the box.
Well, James Bell is the VAR, and he'll be having a look at it for that challenge from Gravenberch on Sangare, or are they going to look at the secondary challenge that came in from Kirkes?
It's the second one from Kirkes, yeah, because he gets through the first one, gets into the penalty area. McAllister just looks like he taps him from behind on his right heel. There does look to be a connection. It's one of those situations where you question, why would he go down unless he was touched? It was not a dive, and he's in a situation where he's about to unleash the shot. You question, why would he go down in that situation? VAR are looking at it.
Reading 0, Rotherham United 1 is the latest score in League One, and there's been another goal at St Andrews in the Championship. Shojo Saka.
Birmingham 2, Norwich City 0. Lovely work by Patrick Roberts down the right, dancing feet across, pinpoint accurate. Jay Stansfield with a header. Birmingham 2, Norwich 0.
Try now in Wales in the Rugby Union. Owain.
Wales have their first try. Great play by Wales off turnover ball, capitalising off an up and under with Tom Rogers squeezing in to the left-hand side. All square. Wales 7, New Zealand 7.
Straight to Fratton Park. There's been a goal. Paul Scott.
Portsmouth 1, Millwall 0. It has been coming. The home side taking the lead through Zach Swanson, and it is an absolute belter. From 25 yards, it flew like a rocket into the top corner. Portsmouth 1, Millwall 0.
That goal stands, incidentally, so Livingston have equalised after a VAR check. Rangers 1, Livingston 1. They've had the VAR check here, no penalty.
No penalty. Sangare's making his way off with the physio next to him. Sean Dyche is making his feelings felt with the fourth official down beneath us. You heard the Liverpool fans booing Sangare, but he was caught. It was a painful one on the back of his ankle. That may have been the first challenge outside the box that the referee allowed play to go on. It was a clumsy one from McAllister inside the penalty box, but referees have decided there's not enough to overturn the decision.
We're midway through the first half. It remains 0-0. What's the latest at Fulham? Charlie Slater.
It's Fulham 0, Sunderland 0, but Fulham are knocking on the door. Two brilliant fast breaks. The first from Harry Wilson, scored a hat-trick for Wales earlier this week, put one just wide from the edge of the box, and just now Kevin has drawn a really good save out of Robin Roofs. 0-0.
Commentary of that is on Sports Extra. Ball goes back towards Sells. He clears. The on-rushing Jones was putting him under pressure. Savona's header from right back goes eventually out of play off the head of Kirkes. And now there's been a goal at Leicester. Julia Bold.
It's Leicester 1, Stoke 0. Mavididi with the goal. He brought the ball in from the left-hand side, centre of goal. Just shot it straight over the top of the keeper. It's Leicester 1, Stoke 0.
Second place Middlesbrough still drawing at Oxford. Earlier the leaders came from 2-0 down to beat West Bromwich Albion by 3-2. Charlton 1, Southampton 5. And also Bristol City 3, Swansea 0. Liverpool attacking, cross delivered, left hand side, turns, blocked, comes out towards Gakpo. And then that goes diverted behind for a corner kick to Liverpool, playing from left to right, 0-0.
Yeah, that's better from Alexander Isak. That was his first real involvement. Higher up the field, pulled himself away to the left-hand side. Cody Gakpo tucks inside, puts the ball into the path of Isak. He's almost on the touchline, uses his pace, very direct, gets into the penalty area. Left-footed cross, comes to nothing in the end, but they do get a corner from it.
Chesterfield unbeaten in 5 in League 2, now lead 2-0 at Crewe. Leyton Orient lead Blackpool by a goal to 0, and Falkirk have got a second goal at Tannadice. Dundee United 0, Falkirk 2. Fleetwood have just taken the lead at home to Shrewsbury. That's 1-0 in League 2. Liverpool corner kick, goalless at Anfield. And it's played in deliberately low. Szoboszlai pulls it back. Jones, curling effort, just outside the D, left-footed. That was definitely one from the training ground.
That is a wonderfully well-worked corner kick. Played in low to Szoboszlai at the near post. Jones peels away outside the edge of the box, gets it on his left foot, doesn't really get the connection he wants, goes high and up, away into the cop. Another attempt from Liverpool.
Back to the county ground, Jacob Culshaw.
Yeah, Grimsby have pulled one back, Swindon 2, Grimsby 1. McEachran, the former Swindon man, with a cross from the left-hand side, and Green was there just to tuck it home. But it's Swindon 2, Grimsby 1.
Sangare's early ball. And away is Jesus on the right-hand side for Nottingham Forest, all in white. He delivers the cross. Gravenberch inside the penalty area, hooks the clearance. Liverpool try and get it up towards Salah, stopped by Murillo. There's only one winner for that loose ball, and that was Murillo getting the better of Gravenberch, and he's still going. Murillo shoots low, left-footed from distance, saved by Allison.
You did wonder then from Murillo, didn't you? He won the first ball, it kind of lost out of his control. Gakpo came in for the challenge but then thought better of it. Murillo was steaming towards him. There was only one person ever going to win it. Murillo got it 35 yards from goal, and that time he actually did put his laces through it. Tess Allison down to his left-hand side. First real attempt for Nottingham Forest.
No wonder he's such a crowd favourite ever since he arrived from Corinthians.
He wasn't stopping, was he?
He definitely wasn't, no. And when he got the ball, he then only had one thing in mind. Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 2. Bromley leads Salford City by 1-0, and you are up to date as Liverpool are attacking now with Salah on this near side. And Jones makes the run ahead of him on the right. They're attacking the Kop end. For those of you who know this famous stadium. And Szoboszlai, triangular passing patterns. Gets it back then from Salah. He's playing it right back today. His attempted cross charged down by Anderson. Gravenberch will wait for that loose ball to settle. Passes the ball to his fellow Dutchman. Gakpo gives it back to Gravenberch. Slides it towards Isak. The little layoff didn't quite come off. And Milinkovic will turn and clear as we will go to Chris Coles at the Amex.
Brighton 0, Brentford 0. Igor Thiago with the ball in the Brighton net, but he was that far offside. The assistant actually flagged for it rather than letting VAR take over. Brighton continued to look the better, but no goals. Brighton 0, Brentford 0.
This is the start of a period of 7 games in 22 days. It'll be the same actually for both sides when you think about it, more or less. Give or take, obviously with Nottingham Forest also in Europe, but for those clubs now in European competition, this is going to be a telling period, isn't it, from November to March. No more international breaks. And I'd calculated last night, I know should have more time on my hands on a Friday evening, but I'd worked out for Liverpool alone in the current schedule, they're only going to have 4 free midweeks between now and the next international break, as Jones picks it up on the edge of the area, can't give it back towards Salah, and Nottingham Forest towards Ndoye will get a free kick. But a lot can happen in that period coming up over weeks and months.
I think Liverpool are in a period now that they want, actually. You look at this game, what they've got here today, they would see this as a winnable game. They've got winnable fixtures, if you like, on paper. They're at home to PSV in the Champions League, then they go to West Ham, they're at home to Sunderland, and then they go to Leeds. All tough games, but against teams that would be lower down the league, obviously, other than Sunderland, who are doing extremely well at the moment. But I think Liverpool need this run of games. You know, like we talk about Isak needing games and players needing to get into some kind of momentum. I think Liverpool as a team will enjoy that.
It remains 0-0 at the moment, as this game last season was the only time that Liverpool failed to score throughout the whole of last season as they won the title. And they'll certainly not be taking the opposition lightly this afternoon on a slot side. It remains goalless. Tranmere now lead MK Dons 2-0 at Prenton Park. It's turning out to a good day for Coventry. Stoke City, who were third this morning, losing at Leicester. Now second place Middlesbrough have fallen behind. Oxford 1, Middlesbrough 0, and Crawley 0, Accrington Stanley 1 is the latest score in League 2. Here is Salah. Williams again, the former Liverpool player, takes it away off his toes and then slides into the challenge as it goes out for a throw. Hearing of a penalty at Brighton. Chris Coles.
And a penalty for Brentford. Igor Thiago stands over it. This to give the visitors the lead at the Amex. Thiago against Verbruggen. Thiago scores low into the bottom left corner. A 7th goal in 7 games for Igor Thiago to make it Brighton 0, Brentford 1.
Brighton unbeaten in 9 at home games in the Premier League and are going to have to come from behind. Keith Andrews has done an exceptional job since taking over. Gakpo surges into the area, shot blocked, comes out to the edge of the box. There is Gibbs White, plays it out towards Ndoye. He tries to get it up towards Jesus. Stepping out of defence was Van Dijk. Now it's with Gakpo. That was a telling contribution from Van Dijk. If something can come from this, here is Isak, edge of the area, can't get a shot or a sight of goal. Szoboszlai can, shoots, takes a deflection and loops behind for a corner kick, as we'll get news of that Oxford goal from Emily Herbert.
Oxford 1, Middlesbrough 0 against the run of play on the counter from Oxford. Played in from the left and Luke Harris taps home. Borough not happy, they've been well on top. Half an hour in, Oxford 1, Middlesbrough 0.
Paul Robinson.
Yeah, that was a really good block from Murillo. Inadvertently nearly diverted it past his own goalkeeper. A good play from Szoboszlai. Comes to him on his right foot. He immediately chops inside, opens the angle up, hits a strike with his left foot, deflects off Murillo. Would have gone in. The goalkeeper had gone the other way.
Still 0-0. Corner kick for Liverpool in front of the Kop. Far side the left, and it comes over the head of Van Dijk, off the head of Murillo, behind for another corner kick to Liverpool.
Do you know, I've been so impressed with Elliot Anderson in the early part of this game, just defensively. We've seen him play in both the 6 and 8 roles in the midfield. He can play anywhere in that midfield, but his defensive capabilities, how hard he works. He's just made another brilliant block before the earlier corner, the one that he made earlier on in the game as well. He's got a great engine, and his positional awareness and his sense of position when he's on the pitch in a defensive shape, it's very impressive.
Another corner kick then from that far side the left. It's another in-swinger. Doesn't beat Jesus, who heads it back to where it came from. And then Gakpo has to get past Anderson to deliver the cross, and he does succeed. And the header on the edge of the area is then flicked away by Gibbs-White. Szoboszlai will back towards Kerkez. Kerkez back to the feet then of Gakpo, up against Anderson once more. They've doubled up on him on that far side. Kerkez provides the support, whips over the cross, comes all the way through towards Salah. He chips it back, headed away by Murillo. They are putting in a terrific defensive shift of Forest. Hibsley Dundee by 1-0 at Easter Road in the Scottish Premiership. You're up to date. And there could be a break on here for Forest. And Ndoye never looked like he was going to get the beating of Konate, but he did enough to force Konate into conceding a corner kick.
Lazy defending from Konate, really is. He's got decent speed, and he gets goal side of Ndoye, and then he's just clumsy with his touch. He either plays it back to Alisson or he puts it out for a throw-in. He gets there and it's a big heavy touch, and he gives away a needless corner.
Well, Liverpool have brought every red shirt back. Anderson strolling towards the corner flag in front of the Forest supporters at the Anfield Road end of the ground on this, what is now a dry and still moderately bright afternoon. When we arrived, however, it was that fine rain that wets you through, as Peter Kay would say, as Anderson takes it. In it comes now, crowded area. Murillo buries it! What a finish that was from Murillo! He rifled it low, left-footed, and Nottingham Forest lead at Anfield by 1-0.
Wonderful delivery from Elliot Anderson from the corner. Liverpool don't defend it very well. It falls to Murillo on his left foot, 6 yards from goal, and it's a thunderous finish past the goalkeeper. He's been the most dangerous man on the pitch, Murillo. He's had 3 strikes on goal, and he's finally found the back of the net. The Liverpool players are surrounding the referee. They want a foul from the incoming corner, but it was such a simple corner routine. We see all these now, the set play coaches, the different routines. This was in-swinging, quality delivery from Elliot Anderson. Across the 6-yard box, it's half cleared by Virgil van Dijk. Falls to the feet of Murillo, and he thunders it past Alisson with his left foot. They're looking at the offside with the players in front of the goalkeeper. I'm not sure they're going to get it, but they're having a long, hard look.
Well, he was about 10 yards out, and he only had one thing on his mind as he's just registered his first goal of the season. Now, was there a Forest player, Ndoye, who was in front of Alisson, obscuring his view?
That's exactly what they're checking. That's exactly what they're checking now. Referee's just pointed to the centre circle. As you can hear, the Nottingham Forest fans away to our left. Celebrations continue. Wasn't in the goalkeeper's line of view. Not offside. Goal.
Goal stands. Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Pat Murphy at Molineux.
It's still 0-0. Palace have all the pressure, all the chances. Edwards telling his defenders to calm down. But at the other end, they nearly scored. Gomez stopped by the legs of the keeper, and on rushing Krejci put it over the bar. But it's still Wolves 0, Palace 0.
Have you had a chance to look at that again, Paul?
Yes, but without the VAR lines. I think Liverpool have got a real case. Arnie Slot's now on our screens in the ear of the fourth official. It looked very, very close to being offside. He was right in front of the goalkeeper, and if he was offside, that goal should have been chalked off.
But bearing in mind what happened to Liverpool at Manchester City.
Yeah, but we haven't seen the lines. I mean, that is one of those that by the naked eye you can't really tell. The automated VAR has obviously intervened. If he is offside, I think that goal should have been ruled out.
Certainly one for Match of the Day, with the extended analysis tonight on BBC One at 10:20. Bromley 2, Salford City 0, Birmingham City 2, Norwich 1. And Nottingham Forest are attacking again, and they get a throw on that right-hand side. Can we go to Shojo Saka?
Yes, we can. Birmingham 2, Norwich 1. Hope for Norwich. It's Matthias Quisgarden with his third goal in as many games. James Beadle palmed across right into his path. Quisgarden couldn't miss. Birmingham 2, Norwich 1.
Nottingham Forest have just scored a second goal. Igor Jesus with his first goal in the Premier League. Liverpool are complaining to the referee. It just fell to him. And he hit it right-footed, but has the goal been ruled out?
Anfield's in shock. Absolute silence has befell Anfield. Virgil van Dijk's got hold of the ball comes in to Igor Jesus. Canate again, really poor defending. He kind of kicks it up against Jesus, and I think they're looking at the handball from Jesus potentially before he puts it in the back of the net. It's a wonderful finish from him.
Well, the Forest supporters are still celebrating, but the fact that the ball is already down in the penalty area for Liverpool, we're just waiting for the confirmation from VAR. But there is a strong feeling from the Liverpool players that this goal will not stand.
Yeah, it's Canate. Once again, he gets caught wrong side. He tries to get back goal side, makes half a challenge, but he inadvertently, with his left foot, trying to wrap it round Jesus, kicks it up at the Nottingham Forest attacker, and it looks, where it's connected with his arm, it looks to be on the shirt sleeve. It's going to be another very, very close call. We're seeing the replays that you get to see that go backwards and forwards. They're now showing a still of where it's actually landed on his arm. This is going to be a close call. This is down to opinion.
Yeah, the Liverpool defenders around them actually stopped playing because they sensed it was handball, and in fact it has been ruled out. So it remains Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. But listen to the crowd reaction inside Anfield.
Well, listen, I mean, they're susceptible, Liverpool. You can see the nervous when teams go at them. Lost 5 of their last 6 Premier League games, and they only lost 4 in the whole of last season. You can see they're a side defensively that are lacking confidence at the moment.
And Nottingham Forest certainly aren't, although Anderson has been caught in possession. The referee, though, has penalised Salah. That seemed extremely harsh. Crewe 1, Chesterfield 2. Crewe have a goal back. At Oakwell Barnsley have got a second goal. They lead Luton 2-0, and there's been another goal at Bournemouth in the Premier League. Sahel Sahi.
A second for West Ham, Ian. It's Bournemouth 0, West Ham 2, and a second for Callum Wilson. It was a free kick that was floated into the penalty area. Bowen won the first header. Todibo won the second header. It fell to Wilson. He swiveled perfectly and looped it over Petrovic. Bournemouth 0, West Ham United 2.
There's a vulnerability about Liverpool, isn't there?
And you can see the belief growing in this Nottingham Forest side. Yes, they've sat for a while, first 20 minutes, kept it tight, been happy without the ball. Defensively, they've been solid in a decent defensive shape. But actually now they've got the goal, they realise that they can hurt Liverpool, playing long balls over the top, in behind Kirkes there. Referee just coming over to this near side, not happy with Ian Wone. I've played with Woney. He was the assistant when I was at Burnley. He's not shy of a word or two, and he's talked himself right into the referee's book. I think he wanted the second goal to stand.
Derby County lead Watford by a goal to 0. It was interesting that Andy Madley, the referee, had to call Ian Wone away to make it sure who was getting the yellow card. He dragged him away from either Sean Dyche and Steve Stone, who were in the dugout there down below, and then Ian Wone, as he wandered clear, was clearly shown the yellow from Andy Madley. But Liverpool trail. Isak, who's been on the periphery really, makes a run out towards the right hand side. Forest working so hard. Anderson holding off Isak, plays it towards Murillo keeps it in play, up towards Williams. Jones gets it away off Williams, and then there's a foul by Williams on Jones, and that'll be a free kick to Liverpool on the right hand side, deep inside the Forest half. 6.5 minutes to half time.
They were in trouble there, Nottingham Forest. They were trying to play their way out of a very difficult situation. Szoboszlai, Jones and Salah, they had a really good press on high up the pitch. Ended up winning the ball back. Anderson commits the foul. Liverpool have got a free kick in a really dangerous position.
Queen's Park Rangers have equalised at home to Hull City, 1-1 in the Championship. Liverpool trail. And Salah waits to take this free kick, just a matter of yards in from the right touchline. Forest have got everybody back. Those white shirts. Salah doesn't beat the first man, easily headed out by Dominguez. This season in the Premier League, when Liverpool have scored first in all 6, they've won all 6. When they've conceded first in 8 games in all competitions, they've lost 7. The exception was when they came from behind to beat Eintracht Frankfurt 5-1 in the Champions League, as Jones will give a free kick away against Williams. The last time in the Premier League where they came from behind after conceding first was against Tottenham back in April. Again, they won by 5-1. 5 minutes to go to half time. Where will we go next then, I wonder, on 5 Live? Charlie Slater at Fulham.
5 left here as well, Ian. 0-0 between Fulham and Sunderland, but so many chances for Fulham. The best of them has fallen to Kevin. A free header at the back post, straight at the goalkeeper. Still 0-0.
Sells then takes the clearance for Nottingham Forest. Konate's strong header is repelled by the head of Savona. Drops towards McAllister. And he can't bring it under control. Actually stabs it to Gibbs-White, who's sprightly, and Gibbs-White comes forward and plays it behind Jesus inside the penalty area. When he's like that, he's so trickery, isn't he, and slippery.
Quick, yeah, very decisive. When he gets in those type of areas, his first thought is forward, whether that's travelling with the ball or a pass forward. But Konate is all over the place, defensively, positional-wise. Normally him and Van Dijk, they've got a great rapport, but in this game already, Konate, I mean, we know that he's not having the best season at the moment, but they seem to be targeting him, Nottingham Forest. That time, Gibbs-White immediately ran straight at him, passed him quickly, and wasn't able to quite get the ball through to Ndoye.
Sean Dyche, since his appointment, definitely getting more of a tune out of Gibbs-White. Liverpool have been awarded a free kick. We've got 4 minutes remaining of normal time here at Anfield. 5 Live, the World Service. We're also live on the BBC Sounds app. And Liverpool have been given this free kick that Kerkez is going to leave for Szoboszlai. There are no other goals to tell you about around the country. As Szoboszlai places the ball down, just adjusts it. Konate is forward. Van Dijk is wanting extra red shirts around him. He beckons towards Gakpo. McAllister is there. Jones is just trying to creep around the back unmarked. It's a line of white inside the penalty area. Szoboszlai chips it in now. McAllister with a header, and Sells makes the save, clutching it with both hands away towards his right. Let's get news of the goal at QPR, Rich Wolfenden.
One apiece here, QPR versus Hull, and it was Elias Chair with his first league goal of the season. The shot from Mbenge from the edge of the penalty area, blocked by Hughes in the box. It then fell kindly for Hughes to for the defender Chair to smash it in for 1-1.
Even before today, Paul, Liverpool most losses at this stage by a reigning champion, with 5 defeats since Leicester City in the 16-17 campaign. They have lost 5 in their previous 6 matches in the top flight, but they've still always been strong here at Anfield.
Well, there's just a little bit of fragility about them, isn't it? You can see that they're a team that aren't full of confidence at the moment. But as you say, they've only lost one of the last 22 home league games. So the expectancy here at home is obviously to get the 3 points.
Williams back towards Anderson. Scoops it long towards Jesus, but he was coming back from an offside position, so he couldn't attack the ball where Konate was. Liverpool, though, have given it away. And Anderson switches it out towards that far side. That was a nice cushion touch by Ndoye on that far side to right, and Savona back towards Milinkovic. He sweeps it back towards Sells, the keeper, who will go long, and all of a sudden as Szoboszlai is pushed up, there's an area of space that Dominguez has now, as Konate's come out of position, and Dominguez had half a chance of being in there.
Konate once again, all it took was Dominguez just to get a little toe. He got around the other side of Konate, but as you say, it was such an easy long ball from the goalkeeper. Szoboszlai completely out of position. It was like Liverpool weren't playing with a right back. It tucked into that hybrid midfield role. There was no cover there. Sells just kicked it into an area and Konate wasn't able to cover.
Well, Andy Madley giving him a little bit of a hurry-up sign towards Williams in front of the main stand, in that corner between the main stand and the Anfield Road end, then gets it back from Jesus. Forest lead by a 1-0. Williams swings over the cross from the left. It's a hanging ball, downward header, almost towards, but Van Dijk will get there first and puts the ball out of play for a throw.
Tell you what, those 2 goals that we've had, the one disallowed, are going to be a really interesting watch tonight on Match of the Day, how they analyse that and what the decisions that were given. I mean, the VAR did take a long time on both of them. The Murillo finish and the Igor Jesus handball, I think that will be the most contestable one from a Nottingham Forest point of view.
Well, the studio advice was, and Mark Chapman has watched it, Mark believes that the goal was right, should have stood.
The handball, from Jesus, that was my initial thought, but our pictures here weren't clear enough and the monitor wasn't big enough. You couldn't actually see the freeze of where it hit his arm, but where it looked like it was on the shirt sleeve, which is normally a good indication, isn't it?
It is. We're inside the last 60 seconds. Salah gets away from a stumbling Williams, and Salah into the area, and he actually goes towards the near post with the outside of his left boot, and it's beaten away by Sells for a corner kick.
Oh, he's got quality. He's got so much quality as Mohamed Salah. Maybe not having the best season of his career, but still his first touch on this near side gets past the defender and he gets into the box. Everybody thinks that he's going to pull it back. Isak darts towards the near post and Salah tries to find him with the outside of his left boot. Just doesn't quite get the execution right.
It's his 300th Premier League appearance for Liverpool today. Gravenberch's making his 100th appearance and Gakpo his 100th start. Szoboszlai over the head of Konate with that corner kick from the right-hand side. Comes back out towards Szoboszlai. Liverpool still looking for the equaliser. There will be 5 minutes of stoppage time. Another goal at Swindon, Jacob Culshaw.
Swindon 2, Grimsby 2. Danny Rose, the skipper, with the penalty, just slotting into the bottom right-hand corner. The comeback is on. Swindon 2, Grimsby 2.
Wickham lead Lincoln by 2-0. Leicester City, there's been another goal. Julia Bold.
It's now Leicester 2, Stoke 0. Patson Daka with the goal from the right-hand side. The keeper had already gone down. It went over the top of him. Leicester 2, Stoke 0.
Liverpool are attacking with Gakpo. Gakpo gets the return ball from McAllister. They open up the Forest defence on that far side, and then Milinkovic comes across. Last touch off Gakpo. Out it goes for a goal kick. This is from the PGMOL. On-field decision was handball. VAR confirmed that. They deemed it to have hit the player's bicep, i.e. the cut-off. It cannot hit any part of the player's bicep or arm before scoring, even if deemed accidental.
Why can't we just go back to the old rule before anyone messed with it? It changes every season as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just take us back to the old. Was it intentional? No.
Yeah. I know. Well, when they had that feature on the BBC website, which I think is still there, about reinventing football, and they asked a whole host of pundits what they'd do. I think Alan Shearer just said, make the handball law just so much easier. As Anderson does well towards Dominguez. Dominguez up towards Jesus, beat in the air by Canate. Eventually Dominguez on the volley, on the diagonal, sets Ndoye away. Kirkes tidies up back towards Allison. Barnsley 3, Luton Town 0. Shojo Saka, Birmingham Norwich.
Birmingham 3, Norwich 1. The early lead for Birmingham coming from Marvin Ducksher, and he's got another one. He's got the third. Close range finish after a header was saved. Birmingham 3, Norwich 1 in first half added time.
Isak makes that run in behind Murillo, held up though by Murillo, almost dispossessed by the goal scorer for Nottingham Forest, and Isak in the end is given a shove it for good measure as he's forced away from the penalty area. Forest have caused problems, but their defending has absolutely been bang on.
And they've grown into the game. They've grown with confidence. They've seen that they can get joy in the final third, but actually while still remembering that defensive structure that they have to have in behind the attacking quality.
Forest have not gone 3 league games without defeat against Liverpool since 1993. You have to go back to 1963 for the last time that they recorded back-to-back league wins at Anfield. But that statistic could change. Their win here last season was the first in 28 attempts since 1969. Szoboszlai with a free kick goes over everybody's head, and Savona will have all the time in the world to assess his options, and in fact he just lets it run out of play for a Forest throw. We're in stoppage time and Forest lead 1-0 on 5 Live.
They're not far off Liverpool. You can see the way that they started the game. They started it with a real fire, a real passion. They were quick, they were first to everything, they were pressing high up the pitch. But Nottingham Forest, as we said about their defensive structure, they've stuck in the game, and as they've grown in confidence and they've actually pushed forward on the front foot, you can see the cracks and the creaks that are in this Liverpool side.
Well, the Manchester City game before the international break was just the second time in the Premier League under Arne Slot that Liverpool had failed to score. That's just 2 occasions in 49 previous games, as that pass from Canate sold Salah short and allowed Williams to make the interception, and Szoboszlai is the one who's got to track back and then get the ball back for Liverpool. The half-time scores are coming in. We'll be going around the grounds with Mark at half-time on 5 Live. Bournemouth 0, West Ham 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Brentford 1, Fulham 0, Sunderland 0, and no goals between Wolves and Crystal Palace elsewhere in the Premier League. Earlier, Burnley 0, Chelsea 2, 3 successive wins now for Chelsea in the Premier League as they moved within 3 points of Arsenal. Liverpool started today 8 points adrift, and we'll have commentary of the North London derby tomorrow as part of 5 Live Premier League Sunday. John Murray and Clinton Morrison at 4:30. Ball from Szoboszlai in a central area, it goes again to nobody, and Milinkovic can clear long, and Van Dijk will tidy up back towards Allison. Paul Robinson.
Yeah, he's walking up and down his technical area on his slot with that big long coat on, his hands tucked in his pocket. Just wonder what his half-time team talk's going to be, because I don't think he'd be too disappointed with the way that Liverpool have played with the ball. The positions that they've taken up defensively and how they've defended is what will worry him. There's a clear problem at right back, the way that Jones and Szoboszlai, neither have been there at times, and it's almost like they're playing with a lopsided back three when one of them forgets to drop in. It's a real problem for them, the right back area.
They haven't had a clear chance yet, have they? But bearing in mind that Anderson blocked the effort from McAllister and Murillo got the deflection in from Szoboszlai. They haven't had one where you're thinking to test the keeper.
Possession-wise, they're dominating in all the stats columns, apart from the important one at the top of the sheet. But as you say, Max Sells hasn't really been tested, hasn't had much of a save to make other than that McAllister header, and you can hear the frustration in the background.
Yeah, you're right, the McAllister header that came in as he caught it high up away towards his right, but Murillo certainly took his chance. It was a ruthless finish. After 33 minutes he buried it left-footed, and Nottingham Forest have defended well, and Anderson and Murillo have both certainly caught the eye for Nottingham Forest, and they lead 1-0. Paul?
Yeah, it's been a really good performance from Nottingham Forest. There's two sides to this. You discussed the way that Nottingham Forest have played, come with a clear game plan. That was to sit tight for 20 minutes, be in a solid defensive structure. Sangare and Anderson did more defending, protecting the back four, and then actually as they grew into the game, they would be more adventurous, balls over the top for Ndoye and Dominguez down the left, and they have had a threat going forward. Liverpool, on the other hand, they've dominated possession, they've been good in forward areas without creating anything, but once again they've shown susceptibility and they've conceded, and Nottingham Forest can see that weakness.
And Harry Kane is on the score sheet as Bayern lead Freiburg by 4-2, warming up for that Champions League game in midweek, but at half-time at Anfield. What a second half we have in store. Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Paul. Remember earlier on, Burnley 0, Chelsea 2. West Ham looking for their third win on the spin, and they're on course to do that this afternoon. Sahel Sahi.
Yeah, very much so, Mark. Half-time, Bournemouth 0, West Ham 2. Bournemouth better until the opening goal, but that was until the 11th minute when the West Ham goalkeeper Areola, he picked out Callum Wilson with a 70-yard clearance. He controlled beautifully on his chest, pivoted, and he smashed home from 25 yards away. The second from a free kick was headed partially away by the Bournemouth defence. It fell to Bowen, who picked out Todibo, who found Callum Wilson, and he produced a quite wonderful finish on the swivel for his and West Ham's second half-time here, Mark. Bournemouth 0, West Ham 2.
Obviously a long way to go this afternoon, but as things stand, Brentford are going 5th, Chris Coles.
Which would be their 4th win in 5. They're in excellent form and they lead Brighton by 1-0 in an extremely soggy Amex. Rain has fallen throughout and it's very watchable, this game, but only one goal. Igor Thiago's penalty for Brentford. Balaba's rash slide on a rampaging Ouattara, clear penalty, expertly converted by the prolific Thiago. Vifa had Brighton's best chance early, shot well saved by Kelleher at the front post, but more needed if Brighton are to keep their unbeaten home record this season. Brighton 0, Brentford 1.
Goalless at Molineux. How have Wolves looked under their new manager, Pat?
Well, they've done well to be all square. Pino's perceptive passing in the Palace midfield, setting up various chances. One in particular wasted by Mateta on a one-on-one. Poor first touch. Wolves are relied on counter-attacking. Henderson saving a Gomez free kick with his legs, then clawing away a hook centre from Manetsky. But at least Wolves are showing character. Wolves 0, Palace 0.
Goalless at the Cottage as well, Charlie Slater.
Yep, 0-0. Marco Silva will be pleased with what he's seen, though. 9 attempts to Sunderland's 2. Harry Wilson and Kevin both look dangerous. Wilson has seen one flash just wide. Kevin, a close-range header saved. He probably should have done better with that. Sunderland's only threat in the first half has been down the right with Bertrand Traore. He had a one-on-one that was well saved. It's Fulham 0, Sunderland 0.
Earlier in the Championship, Bristol City 3, Swansea 0, Charlton 1, Southampton 5. Southampton were 4 up after 22 minutes at the Valley, and Coventry came from 2 down to beat West Brom 3-2. It put them 8 points clear ahead of the 3 o'clocks, and they are still 8 points clear because second and third are both losing. Let's start with second, Middlesbrough at Oxford. Emily Herbert.
Yeah, Oxford leading Middlesbrough by 1-0 at the break. Luke Harris, the difference. The ball swung in from the left, and there was the Fulham loanee to tap home his second goal for the club from close ranges. Oxford's only shot on target, and with Borough's 12 attempts, they really should be at least level. Half-time, Oxford 1, Middlesbrough 0.
Even worse for third place Stoke at Leicester. Julia.
It's Leicester 2, Stoke 0. That first goal coming on 23 minutes. Harry Winks sending the ball to Steffi Mavididi. Got hold of it on the left-hand side. Shot from the centre with his left foot over the top of the keeper. Then just before the break, Patson Daka got the second on the counter-attack. He came in from the right-hand side to the centre of goal and hit it with his right foot into the back of the net. Stoke have had chances though. Junho and Cresswell have both had shots go wide. Wilmot had a header saved by Asmir Begovic, but they did look frustrated going in at the break. See why though. Leicester Leicester 2, Stoke 0.
All square at Loftus Road at half-time. Rich Wolfenden.
QPR 1, Hull 1 at the break. It was Joe Gelhardt who scored the opener with the visitors' first chance of the game, driving it past Hamer from an improbable angle, making it 2-2 for the Leeds loanee. QPR, though, fought back through Elias Chair as he grabbed his first league goal of the season from close range. At the break, it's QPR 1, Hull 1.
Portsmouth lead at the break. Paul Scott.
And they're good value for it as well. They lead Millwall by a goal to nil. Defender Zach Swanson with the only goal at the midway point of the first half. His first goal since Boxing Day, and it was a cracker. Into the top corner from 25 yards. Millwall with just one attempt on target. A low effort, easily saved. They've seen Zach Sturge stretch it off. Pompey heading for their first win in 7. They lead Millwall by a goal to nil.
Wrexham have drawn 3 of their last 4 away from home, and they're on course for another one this afternoon. Mark Webber.
Ipswich 0, Wrexham 0. The groans of frustration from the Ipswich fans, louder than the lighthouse foghorn from the Suffolk coast, as the home side have missed a bucket of chances, while Wrexham are happy to play the long game. Jane Philogene with the first, James McLean headed that away, the other 3 not being converted by colleagues. Meanwhile, Wrexham are the Gary Kasparov in this game of footballing chess, happy to soak up the pressure, a few forays into enemy territory, maybe more to come in the second half. Ipswich 0, Wrexham 0.
I think I might have to take your word for that. Next to Birmingham, new manager, same old problems for Norwich.
Yes, Birmingham 3, Norwich 1. 2 goals for Birmingham striker Marvin Duksh, bookending the first half here. He might have had a hat-trick if he'd not wasted a great chance from 10 yards out. Jay Stansfield heading in the second after a lovely move down the right. Norwich did pull one back through Mateus Quisgarden, but new manager Philippe Clement has a heck of a lot of work to do at half-time. Birmingham 3, Norwich 1.
Derby on course for their 6th straight win in the Championship. They lead Watford at the break by a goal to nil. Dion Sanderson got that for John Eustace's side. We'll go around Leagues 1 and 2 and Scotland very shortly, but half-time in the Rugby Union. Wales against New Zealand. Commentary of this on Sports Extra 2. Owain Gwyneth.
Wales 14, New Zealand 24. 3 first-half tries to the visitors. Caleb Clark giving the All Blacks an early lead in a 7-minute period. Wales didn't touch the ball once. Ruben Lowe's third try in 5 caps, and Tamaiti Williams the others. Tom Rogers crossed for a brace for Wales, lifting the home crowd spirits. Wales are in this fight, different to what many expected. Wales 14, New Zealand 24.
Ireland, South Africa at 5:40 on Sports Extra for you later this afternoon. In League 1 earlier, Plymouth moved off the bottom of the table with a 1-0 win at Port Vale. In the 3 o'clock games, we're with 4th place Bolton at home to 3rd place Bradford. Naz Premji.
Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0. The home side, Mark, have dominated, and Bradford can't handle a Mario Cozier-Dubry. He is frightening the Bantams backline. He's had several efforts, the best one a low drive which was just wide. Mason Burstow's headed over for them. Carl Dempsey also hit one from distance which fizzed wide. Bradford haven't had a single shot in the first half. Bolton Wanderers 0, Bradford City 0.
Elsewhere in the 3 o'clocks in League 1, AFC Wimbledon 0, Wigan 0. Luton have won their last 2 away from home in League 1. That could come to an end this afternoon. They're 3-0 down at Oakwell against Barnsley. Leyton Orient lead Blackpool by a goal to nil. Aaron Connolly with the goal. That's 8 for the season for him. A very good first half for Huddersfield at Mansfield. They lead by 3 goals to nil. It's Northampton 0, Cardiff 1, Reading 0, Rotherham 1, Stevenage 0, Doncaster 0. And the leaders at the start of the afternoon, Lincoln, are behind at the break at Wickham. They trail by 2 goals to nil. Sam Bell got both the goals for Michael Duff's side, 6 for the season in total for him. Gillingham 1, Barnet 1 as we go into League 2. That's a full time from earlier. And Walsall beat Harrogate 2-0. It took them to the top of the table. How can Swindon respond? They drop to second. Win though, they go back to the top. They're being watched by Jacob Culshaw.
A remarkable first half, Mark. Swindon 2, Grimsby 2. 2 goals in the first 13 minutes gave Swindon an early cushion. The first a header from Palmer, the second a sweet strike from Bowden before it completely flipped on its head. Grimsby pulling one back through Green, and then their skipper, Danny Rose, converted from the spot to level from 2 down. Swindon only have themselves to blame. Manager Ian Holloway will be absolutely fuming from the stands. Half-time here, Swindon 2, Grimsby 2.
Elsewhere in League 2 this afternoon, Barrow 0, Cambridge 0. Bromley lead Salford by 2 goals to nil. Their first goal coming from Omar Sawunmi. That's 5 for the season for him. Cheltenham 0, Bristol Rovers 0, Crawley 0, Accrington 1, Crewe 1, Chesterfield 2 at the break. Fleetwood lead Shrewsbury by a goal to 0. Ryan Graydon got that, 6 for the season for him. Notts County 1, Colchester 1, Oldham 0, Newport 0, and Tranmere lead MK Dons by 2 goals to 0. MK Dons just 1 defeat in their last 7, but Charlie Whittaker has got both those goals for Andy Crosby's side, and he has now got 6 for the season. In the National League earlier, Aldershot 1, Woking 2, and Rochdale's 2-1 win at Tamworth took them to the top of the table for now. Forest Green Rovers will go back to the top with a win at Wealdstone, and they are leading at the break by a goal to 0. Elsewhere, Brackley 2, York 2, Eastleigh 0, Hartlepool 0, FC Halifax 1, Solihull Moors 0. Solihull Moors down to 10 in that. Boreham Wood are down to 10 at Gateshead, but they lead by a goal to 0. Goalless between Morecambe and Yeovil. Scunthorpe are 1-0 up on Braintree. Southend lead Altrincham 2-0, and Sutton are 1-0 up at Truro. Into the Scottish Premiership, St Mirren Celtic is at 8 o'clock tonight. Hearts play tomorrow. They're the leaders. We're with Rangers at home to Livingston, and they're being held at the break. Kenny.
Yeah, half-time score, Rangers 1, Livingston 1. Danny Rose, hosts, looked in complete control when Emmanuel Fernandez headed in the 9th minute. Brilliant header in off the bar from James Tavernier's corner, but him and his stand-in defensive partner Giga didn't look so clever 10 minutes later when a Livingston long ball by Stevie May eluded them both and left Tete Yengi to run through and poke it beyond Jack Butland for his first goal of the season. And since then, Rangers have looked decidedly shaky. Yengi had another chance blocked. They claimed for handball. Livingston, it wasn't given, and it's half-time score, Rangers 1, Livingston 1.
Elsewhere in the Scottish Premiership, Dundee United 0, Falkirk 2, Hibs 1, Dundee 0, and Motherwell are 2-0 up at Kilmarnock. In the Scottish Championship, Edrionians 0, Ayr 1, Arbroath 0, Wraith 0, Dunfermline lead Morton by a goal to 0, and Partick Thistle are 2-0 up on the leaders St Johnstone at the break. If that stays as is, Partick will cut the gap on St Johnstone to just 3 points at the top of the table. In League 1, Cove Rangers 0, Alloa 0, Hamilton 1, Kelty Hearts 1, Montrose 2, East Fife 1, Peterhead 0, Stenhousemuir 1. And in League 2 this afternoon, Clyde 1, Annan 0, Dumbarton 1, Forfar 3, East Kilbride 1, Edinburgh City 1, Spartans 0, Stranraer 4 at half-time, and Stirling 0, Elgin 0. One result from the Women's League Cup this afternoon, Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester City 2. You are up to date with all the afternoon scores in the football. 2 minutes past 4. Jill has the BBC News.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
European leaders, including Sir Keir Starmer, have expressed concern over President Trump's draft plan to end the war in Ukraine. In a joint statement, they say borders must not be changed by force and warned that limiting Ukraine's forces could leave the country vulnerable. A proposed final deal for the UN climate talks in Brazil doesn't include a commitment to phase out fossil fuels, as many countries demanded. But it does say developed nations should at least triple funding for poorer countries to adapt to the effects of climate change. A 13-year-old girl's been arrested on suspicion of murder after a woman died in Swindon last night. Police were called to reports of disorder at a house in Morden. A woman in her 50s was pronounced dead at the scene. And 2 of Britain's biggest newspapers could soon be owned by the same company after the Daily Mail's publisher agreed to pay £500 million to buy the Daily Telegraph. The government would review any potential sale.
My name's Steve Bracknell, assistant manager at Royal Oak FC. You may have seen me online going viral. Viral sensation. And now, the BBC have given me the chance to set the footballing world back to rights.
This could be a great opportunity for us, lads, a podcast for the BBC.
Can I just say, what's a podcast?
Brilliant. Great start. Well done, Bob. Brilliant. We can completely show utter transparency to Royal Oak fans. I'll use me charm. Gift it, Gab. Game's gone. The Steve Bracknell Podcast. Watch on YouTube. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports with Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
To remind you, in the early game, Burnley 0, Chelsea 2. It takes Chelsea into second ahead of all the other games today. 3 points behind Arsenal. They play Arsenal next Sunday. All the goals, extended highlights, all the analysis match the day tonight, 10:20 on BBC One with Wayne Rooney and Rob Green. Elsewhere in the Premier League at 3 o'clock, Bournemouth 0, West Ham 2, Brighton 0, Brentford 1, Fulham 0, Sunderland 0, Forest are a goal up at Anfield, and Wolves and Crystal Palace a level at 0-0. Big sports story of the day, England being walloped in the first test in Perth after just 2 days. The first 2-day Ashes test in 104 years. They lost by 8 wickets thanks to a brilliant century from Travis Head, who opened the innings for the Aussies. All the reaction you'll hear from Ben Stokes and Travis Head himself, Brendan McCullum, Glenn McGrath, Michael Vaughan, all on the TMS pod, which you can download via BBC Sounds now, and we'll have even more of a debrief Monday evening, 9 till 10 on 5 Live Cricket, after the Monday night club. Stoke have pulled one back at Leicester. We'll get details of that from Julia.
Yeah, it's now Leicester 2, Stoke 1, and it's coming from Jun Ho just after we've restarted. He's done a header, he's headed it down, and it's bounced into the back of the net. So looks like Stoke have come out fighting. It's Leicester 2, Stoke 1.
And Cambridge have taken the lead in League 2 at Barrow 4 minutes into the second half. About to get back underway at Anfield. Ian.
Perfect timing. Nottingham Forest will restart this game, leading by 1-0. They're in all white, playing from left to right. As we look, they're attacking the Kop end, leading through that Murillo goal after 33 minutes, and they had a goal disallowed just a few minutes after that as well through Igor Jesus. Neither side has made a change at half-time, so I'll run through the two teams for you, but Savona has got a bit of area to run into here now for Forest, and on the run he delivers a cross. It's a high hanging ball towards Dominguez, who can't get enough of a purchase on it, but he still keeps that prospect of an attack alive for Forest. And on that far side, it's Williams who plays it back towards Anderson and then goes back out towards Dominguez, who delivers the cross. Williams tries to wriggle clear, gets there, pulls it back. Savona is there, and Forest lead by 2-0. And Liverpool have been absolutely caught cold at the start of the second half. And Forest now are dreaming of back-to-back wins at Anfield for the first time in 62 years. They lead 2-0.
Really, really good finish. Clever piece of play from Williams down the left-hand side. Gets into the Liverpool penalty box far too easily. Pulls it back, and Savona, the fullback, he's up there from the previous attack. He's got acres of space inside the Anfield 18-yard box. His left foot finds the roof of Alisson's top right-hand corner. Good play from Nottingham Forest. Quick passing, interchanging around the edge of the box. A really good ball into Williams, who turns, beats 2 Liverpool defenders, and then it's such an easy cutback, side of his right foot, opens it up across Alisson into the roof of the net. Ideal start to this second half for Nottingham Forest.
The two full-backs combining for a Nottingham Forest side that have defended with steel, but have also shown ambition in attack, and they have been rewarded with 2 goals. And Liverpool now have it all to do.
Tell you what a finish that was. It was a really good finish. Just seeing the replay from behind the goal, it was a cutback from the byline from Williams, and Savona, he's still got a lot to do. Yes, he's centre of the goal, but the way he opens his foot up and he places it across Alisson right into the top corner, it's a superb finish, it really is.
Darren Mola has been sent off for Leyton Orient as they lead Blackpool by 1-0 at home in League One. Kilmarnock have got a goal back in the Scottish Premiership. Kilmarnock 1, Motherwell 2, and Crewe now have equalised. Crewe 2, Chesterfield 2 in League 2. Sean Dyche, who's played Liverpool as a manager on 17 occasions, he's just won 3 of those 17. His last win was for Burnley behind closed doors in 2021. His last 3 visits to Anfield, he's been beaten by 2-0, but it's that scoreline now that he barks out those orders in that grisly voice of his, and hoping to see Forest get 3 points here at Anfield. Hull City are back in front at QPR 1, Hull City 2, and Liverpool, who've only lost 4 of their last 85 games at Anfield in the Premier League, have now got to come from 2-0 down.
It's been a really impressive Nottingham Forest performance thus far into the game. You can see the way that they started the game, and you just see under Sean Dyche there's a structure to them. We all go on as pundits, as ex-players, about identity, about a style, about, you know, the team having an identity. But under Sean Dyche, when he's come in, you can see an immediate change. there is a structure, there's an organisation. Defensively, they look solid, and everyone to a man knows their job, and they work extremely hard together as a team, as they did under Nuno.
Yes, well, they certainly got the victory here last season. That seemed to be more of a smash and grab raid from memory. Here, well, Liverpool absolutely undone at the start of the second half as the ball goes out towards Salah. Szoboszlai's early ball in. Jones can't get a side of goal. Out it goes towards Salah. His attempted cross blocked. There is an unease already that is growing inside Anfield now from these supporters. McCalla chests the ball off to Jones, then passes the ball out wide. Gakpo enters the area. Gakpo looks for a sight of goal. Can't see one. Blocked by that wall of white that's in front of him. Here now is Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai delivers the cross, and then Murillo heads it away. If only England's cricketers could show the same levels of resilience for those in white that Forest are, then maybe that first test in the Ashes series wouldn't have been over in 2 days, with England all out for 164 and Australia winning by 8 wickets, 205 for 2. We'll get reaction of that on the TMS feed on BBC Sounds. But here, Liverpool just cannot find a way through. Williams is down.
Coming together with him and Salah on the far side. Wanted to check, see if he needed a bit of treatment. The referees told him to get up and get on with it. He looks winded, to be fair. I think he's got his hands on the top of his head, trying to open his chest up. Game's back underway.
33 appearances in 3 years during his time at Liverpool for the Welsh international. Kirkes, the left back for Liverpool's forward ball. Isak beaten to it by Savona. Drops though towards Gakpo. Isak just waits for the ball to come to him on this near side the left. Touches the ball towards Kirkes. Now it is with McAllister, back towards Gakpo. Heavy touch, showed too much towards Anderson. Liverpool try and win it back. The counter-attack could have been on there towards Gibbs-White. It will reach Gibbs-White. And all of a sudden Ndoye passes the ball forward towards Jesus, and Gibbs-White tries to join him. But he's a solitary figure at the moment, is Jesus, but at least he will win. A throw for Nottingham Forest on this near side the right as they attack the Kop, leading by 2-0.
There's a lot of unrest inside Anfield. Those of you who know where the media press box is, the seats behind, as you can hear already, the supporters, the moans and groans when they lose the ball and they lose possession. As fluid as they were and as quick as they acted in the first half for the first 20 minutes, they've looked a little bit clunky, haven't they, since conceding. Since Nottingham Forest have gone ahead, you've got to give them credit. They've been the better side.
Savona waits to take the throw. That's the view of Paul Robinson, and there is activity on the bench down below as the cross is worked over, and Alisson stretching and reaching for it, claims it with both hands, throws the ball out then towards Szoboszlai at right back. Gravenberch tries to run clear, threads the ball through. Murillo's read it all day long. He has been again exceptional at the heart of the Forest defence, and Ndoye now gives Jesus something to chase right hand side of the area and wins a corner off the shins of Konate. Rich Wolfenden at Queen's Park Rangers.
QPR 2, Hull City 2. Enis Destan put Hull City in front, but Jimmy Dunn has just equalised inside the 6-yard box. An effort looping over the goalkeeper, which means it's 2-2 at the start of the second half.
Konate is the player coming off for Ekitike. I was thinking it was going to be Isak, so Gravenberch, I would imagine, would drop back into the centre of defence alongside Van Dijk.
Well, the way Konate's played today, Ekitike could probably play centre-half and do a better job.
7 minutes into the second half. Anderson with a corner kick for Forest. It's an outswinger. It comes off the head of Jesus. It'll be picked up by the fellow Brazilian Alisson. Goal at Fratton Park, Paul Scott.
6 minutes gone at the start of the second half. Portsmouth have doubled their lead. Murphy feeding it through for Adrian Segicic. I'm not sure if it was a cross or a shot. Either way, it looped over the goalkeeper Max Crocombe and into the back of the net. Pompey 2, Millwall 0.
Second place Middlesbrough have equalised at Oxford United. Before we go to Oxford, there's a goal at Birmingham, Shojo Saka.
It's got worse for Norwich. Birmingham 4, Norwich 1. It was Kenny McLean, the Norwich captain, who lost the ball in midfield. Jay Stansfield on the break, had ages to run and then chipped the keeper. Birmingham 4, Norwich 1.
And Oldham Athletic are leading Newport County by 1-0. Christian Fuchs is the new Newport County boss, but it hasn't started well at Boundary Park. Ekitike still waits to come on. Curtis Jones over the halfway line, goes for a searching diagonal ball that Savona has read all day long and gets there first to head the ball away over as it is picked back up by Liverpool. And we'll get news of that Middlesbrough equaliser from Emily Herbert.
Middlesbrough find that equaliser. Oxford 1, Middlesbrough 1. It's deflected into the back of the net from a firing shot from inside the box, but I think Morgan Whittaker will claim it. It's deserved. They've been well on top, woken the travelling fans up too. Oxford 1, Middlesbrough 1.
Liverpool fans aren't happy because Gravenberch seems to have been fouled on the edge of the area. It wasn't given by the referee, Andy Madley. Goes out towards Gakpo. Pressure is building for Forest, but they have a 2-goal cushion here at Anfield, live on 5 Live Sport and the World Service, as well as the BBC Sounds app. Gakpo held off by the Forest right back. Here then is Van Dijk. Receives it quickly back from McAllister. Szoboszlai out towards Salah. Jones waits on the edge of the area, but Salah can't find him, and Forest now can try and go long up towards Jesus, and then was he fouled by Konate?
I don't know why he's gone down. I really don't know why he's gone down. He whipped the ball round Konate, through his legs, he was past him. There was a stray arm from Konate, but it was nothing. I'm not sure that Jesus knew actually that there was nobody else around him. He was one-on-one with Konate on the halfway line. He'd put the ball round him, he was done, he was through, but he went down with the slightest of touches.
Bayern Munich 6, Freiburg 2, warming up for that visit to Arsenal in the Champions League on Wednesday. The Rugby Union, Wales-New Zealand, it's live on Sports Extra 2. Owain Gwyneth.
Tried to Wales, there's a Tom Rogers hat-trick, all came from a Dav Jenkins charge down, and Tom Rogers well worked into the left-hand corner. His hat-trick at 3 minutes gone to the second half. Wales 21, New Zealand 24.
Shake of the head from Konate as he is replaced. Ekitike is on. So Liverpool now have Gakpo, Isak, Salah and Ekitike as they look to try and overturn this 2-0 deficit 10 minutes into the second half.
It's a bold move from Arne Slot. 55 minutes into the game, takes off Konate. That tells you what type of game that he's been having, and he's playing Gravenberch alongside Virgil van Dijk instead of Konate. There was a wry smile on Konate's face on the monitor when he got took off, almost a smile of disbelief that it was actually him that was being dragged. He's been poor.
Well, he certainly has struggled. Here is Van Dijk midway through the Nottingham Forest half. Back out to this near side, the left. They're attacking the Anfield Road end of Liverpool, all in red. As Van Dijk goes infield to Szoboszlai. Jones is actually to his right. And now forward towards Salah, level with the area. Fleetwood 2, Shrewsbury 0 is the latest score in League 2. McAllister towards Salah. Salah sends over the cross. Milinkovic there with a header. I think he might have been pushed from behind by Isak. And Milinkovic again stood strong, headed the ball away. We'll go to Brighton next. Chris Coles.
Big chance for Brighton to equalise. A big chance missed by the main man, Danny Welbeck. Loose ball fell to him 7-8 yards out. You fancied him all the way, blazed it over the crossbar. Still Brighton 0, Brentford 1.
They've swapped Szoboszlai and Jones, haven't they? Jones is now playing as a right back.
They've been doing that quite a bit during the game, but at times one of them has forgot to go and fill in. There's been a space there. Gravenberch is sitting alongside Virgil van Dijk. But it's actually interesting. It's going to be interesting to watch Ekitike and Isak on the same pitch as each other, because what Liverpool haven't done well in this second half is get wide. The dangerous threats that they had in the first half are in the wide area. Everything's been very narrow and within the width of the 18-yard area in this second half, and Nottingham Forest have found it very, very easy to defend against. Gakpo and Salah need to stay wide now to allow Ekitike and Isak space in the middle of the field.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't recall Liverpool getting round the back of Nottingham Forest hardly at all today.
No, and the pace that they've got on that pitch in Salah, Gakpo, Isak, you would expect that's one of the things that we'd be looking for.
Northampton have equalised at home to Cardiff City, 1-1 in League One. You're up to date. Ekitike sends over a cross. There was Milinkovic once again, and Anderson to mop it up for Nottingham Forest. Williams clears, but it's out of play, drifting into the bottom tier of the Sir Kenny Dalglish stand on the far side. We're approaching the hour mark as Arne Slot just takes his seat in the technical area down below. Kerkez to Van Dijk. Gravenberch goes out wide. Salah. Williams stands off him. Salah enters the area. McAllister shuffles the ball back out towards Jones. He goes down the line for Szoboszlai. First time cross, blocked behind for a corner kick. Liverpool all out attack, it would seem, but just can't get any change out of this Forest defence.
There's a lot of rotation in the way that Liverpool are playing. You know, where you talk about trying to get in behind rather than play that final ball, they'll turn out, they'll rotate the ball. It's almost a horseshoe type play, the way that they play. Rotate the ball side to side without anyone making that real killer instinct of a pass.
It's going to be an outswinging corner from that far side, the right. Liverpool 2-0 down. Szoboszlai takes it, headed away by Milinkovic comes then towards Jones. Ooh, he's hammered that. Gave Szoboszlai a hospital pass to try and keep that ball in play. He diverted it up in the air with his head. Here now is McAllister, an area of space maybe to run into. He's 30 yards out, passes the ball towards Isak rather than shooting, but Savona was tucked in for Nottingham Forest. Now a goal at Molineux. Pat Murphy.
It's gone to Crystal Palace, scored by Daniel Munoz. The ball was pinging around from a short corner and it came obligingly to his left foot, 15 yards out, smacked it in. Wolves 0, Palace 1.
Omari Hutchinson is going to be coming on for Nottingham Forest. So Palace are ahead. Fulham 0, Sunderland 0, Brighton 0, Brentford 1, Bournemouth 0, West Ham 2. The result earlier, Burnley 0, Chelsea 2. Team news now from St James's Park. It's our next commentary at 5:30. Conor McNamara.
And Newcastle up against the top scorers in the Premier League this season. Manchester City make 3 changes. All of them are defenders. Livramento in at right back, Hall at left back, Fabian Schär returns to the centre. Manchester City named an unchanged team from their 3-0 win over Liverpool.
And Connor is joined by Paul's former Leeds teammate Jonathan Woodgate. Salah into the penalty area, shoots, blocked by Murillo, almost comes back out towards Salah, but Dominguez was back there helping out as well. Salah tries to roll away from his man. Szoboszlai has it just outside the D. Szoboszlai towards Ekitike, plays it out wide, it goes behind Jones, move breaks down, out for a throw. Notts County 1, Colchester 2, Derby 2, Watford 0 is the latest score in the Championship, and Cardiff now lead at Northampton by 2-1. Northampton 1, Cardiff 2, and Hibs are 2-0 up at home to Dundee. As the change is being made, Hutchinson is going to be coming on, and the player coming off is Dominguez.
Yeah, he's done well, Dominguez. He's probably one of the Nottingham Forest players who struggled to have much of an impact in the final third. But with Hutchinson coming on now, Nottingham Forest have got pace with Ndiaye, Hutchinson, and what they'll do is they'll defend as they have done, but they've got the pace on the counter-attack. Jesus, Ndiaye, and now Hutchinson coming onto the field. The way that the game's panning out, Nottingham Forest could end up getting a third in a smash and grab unless Liverpool get themselves back into this quickly.
What Ndiaye and Dominguez have done, though, they've put in a defensive shift, haven't they?
Oh, the defenders a unit. The whole team defends as a unit. It's a very impressive watch. As you know, we sit very high up here at Anfield, and it's almost looking down on a Sabutio-style field, so you can see the tactics very, very clearly. And what he works very hard at, Sean Dyche. I've spent a lot of time with him. He works very hard on the gaps between the players, between the spaces. You know, we talk all about the time about gaps between the lines and don't allow, people through the spaces, but it's actually the gaps in between the players in the back four. You watch the back four now, they're all within the width of the 18-yard box. They all try and defend very, very narrowly, and they've forced Liverpool to play in the width of the 18-yard box.
That's Paul Robinson with 29 minutes remaining on BBC Radio 5 Live. Nottingham Forest lead at Anfield by 2-0. Forest scored 5 goals in their first 9 games in the Premier League. They've now scored 7 in 2 and a bit, or 2 2/3 if you like, as here is Anderson, and he feeds it forward towards that far side. And it was Ndiaye who just tried to nick it away, but couldn't succeed, and it goes out for a throw. Crawley Town have equalised at home to Accrington Stanley in League 2. Crawley 1, Accrington Stanley 1. Van Dijk goes long, Savona heads it away, only as far as Ekitike. Runs into a central area, goes square and short. Szoboszlai gives it towards McAllister. Forest, though, again are getting those white shirts back into those defensive positions that Paul Robinson is talking about. Tannadice now, it's Dundee United 0, Falkirk 3 in the Scottish Premiership. As Jones passes the ball towards Salah with urgency, looks to attack Williams. Again, and Ndiaye helping him out. They've doubled up on him. Little flick there by Szoboszlai was cute. Salah and Ekitike almost get in each other's way, and then Salah shoots and he screws it wide.
Lovely touch from Szoboszlai, wasn't it? Little round the corner, time for half Cruyff turn onto the path. And Mohamed Salah is in the 18-yard box. He's running across goal, ends up in the middle of the goal, and he looks to try and reverse it with his left foot, pull it back into the goalkeeper's bottom left-hand corner. Just doesn't quite get the strike right, and he goes harmlessly wide. Better from Liverpool, and a strike on goal.
Mentioned Van Dijk's name. There's a staggering statistic about the Dutchman. He's only suffered 4 home defeats in the Premier League in 124 games. Leeds United, Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest and Manchester United. Forest could be adding a second notch in that rare statistic of a defeat for Van Dijk at Anfield, as they lead by 2-0, and they continue to work hard off the ball. Gibbs-White stumbles, can't keep the ball in play. They've committed white shirts forward too. And then Gakpo goes long, up towards Salah. He's goal side, he's into the area. Superb defending from Milinkovic. He came across and just snuffed out the threat of Salah. And now all of a sudden the counter-attack is on at the other end. for Forest. And it's with Ndoye, enters the penalty area, left-hand side. Ndoye goes for goal. Block comes in from Gravenberch. Anderson shoots low. Alisson makes the save.
Oh, that's a chance. That's a real chance for Nottingham Forest. Elliot Anderson on the edge of the box, harmlessly into Alisson's hands. Liverpool fans, as you can hear, wanted a penalty on Mohamed Salah. Milenkovic just leaned his body into him.
Salah now looks there for Isak, cut out by a sliding Murillo. Wycombe Wanderers 2, Lincoln City 1, Mansfield 1, Huddersfield Town 3. Liverpool coming forward with Szoboszlai, touches the ball right side of the area towards Salah. Isak's first time shot down into the ground, cleared by Savona. Forward header then downwards by Van Dijk, and it now is with Ekitike, left corner of the area, works the ball away from the box back towards Van Dijk. Liverpool though looking for an opening, won't run for them. Szoboszlai again, they've got so many players behind the ball of Nottingham Forest. Here is Salah, enters the box, cross, blocked, comes towards Szoboszlai, able to turn, again blocked by Anderson, as we'll go to Queen's Park Rangers and Rich Wolfenden.
QPR 3, Hull City 2. They've gone behind twice in this game, but now they lead. Roman Burrell from about 10 yards out, finishing a scrappy goal, but they lead here at Loftus Road. QPR 3, Hull 2.
64 minutes played on 5 Live. Forest still lead 2-0. Ekitike round the back, doesn't deliver the cross straight away, now delivers it deep. Salah, cushion header down into the ground, either Szoboszlai or Jones, and as you quite rightly said, Paul, they're rotating, couldn't get there, and Szoboszlai is the one who's got to go all the way to retrieve it back on the halfway line.
What a chance that was for Isak earlier. I know the play moved on very quickly. That was a great chance for Alexander Isak on the volley, 10 yards out.
Salah, Ekitike, Szoboszlai, back then to Curtis Jones, right corner of the area. Szoboszlai, they're playing in front of Nottingham Forest at this stage, 2-0 down. Van Dijk seeing a lot of the ball though, 65 minutes played. Gakpo stands over the cross towards the far post. Sells comes and with real determination punches the ball away. Penalty at Bournemouth, Sahel Sahi.
For Bournemouth, they're trailing to West Ham by 2-0. It's Marcus Tavernier who's placed the ball on the spot. 67 minutes played here in the swirling and sweeping rain, and can you believe it, Ian, the wind has blown the ball off the spot. Tavernier's placed it down carefully again. Evan Nielsen jigged his way into the penalty area. Kilmer with a handball. It's Bournemouth who will take this penalty with Marcus Tavernier. He's going to take it left-footed. He's taken his time. Here he comes. Runs up to the ball. Left-footed. Crashing it home. Bournemouth are back in the game. Bournemouth 1, West Ham 2.
And there's been another goal at Molineux. Pat Murphy.
To Crystal Palace, a brilliant goal from the Spaniard Jeremy Pino, who's been outstanding in midfield. Ball break loose to him, 20 yards out, instant right foot curler, top corner, superb goal. Wolves 0, Palace 2.
Elsewhere, Derby County 2, Watford 1, Kilmarnock 1, Motherwell 3 in the Scottish Premiership. You're up to date on 5 Live, apart from Crew 2, Chesterfield 3. And Gravenberch shown a yellow card by the referee Andy Madley, as Forest, who are leading 2-0 in the darkness now here at Anfield, have been awarded a free kick not that far away from the left corner of the penalty area.
And Ndoye was away from Gravenberch. He went down to ground, used his hand, and that's why the referee booked him. And it's a really dangerous position this for Forest if Elliot Anderson can get the delivery right.
Anderson now goes for goal, and it fizzes off the head of Szoboszlai behind for a corner kick.
That's a
Wimbledon lead Wigan by a 1-0. And Barnsley have got a 4th goal at Oakwell in League One. Barnsley 4, Luton Town 0. Liverpool are preparing a double change. Chiesa, who's scored 2 goals off the bench against Bournemouth and Palace this season, and Andy Robertson are going to be the players coming on. Forest, meanwhile, have a corner in front of the Kop with a 2-goal cushion to protect and maybe to add to. Isak heads it away. It's going to come out to Williams. Passes the ball towards Sangare. Hutchison wants the ball played on this right-hand side, offside. Robertson will replace Kerkez. Chiesa for Isak.
It's an interesting change, isn't it? Isak, he's done very, very little to get back into this game. We know he's rusty. He's not had many opportunities today. He's not taken up that many good positions. Had one opportunity there about 5 minutes ago where a sharp match ready Isak would potentially have tested the goalkeeper. Got his strike all wrong.
So whilst those changes take place, we'll go to Craven Cottage. Charlie Slater.
Which is still goalless between Fulham and Sunderland with 20 minutes left, but Fulham arguably should be in front. Harry Wilson, 16 yards out, had space, dragged his effort just wide, 0-0.
That's on Sports Extra, the latest from the Amex. Chris Coles.
Brighton 0, Brentford 1. The Brighton chances continue to flow as relentless as the falling rain. Yakuba Minte with the latest, left-hand side of the area, used his pace well. Left foot shot tipped over by Kelleher. Brighton 0, Brentford 1.
It's dry here, but just over 20 minutes remain and Nottingham Forest lead by 2-0. Here is Van Dijk. Robertson now, after Scotland's success in midweek at Hampden against Denmark, coming back down to earth with a bump here, it would seem. 2-0 down. Salah coming in off that touchline, linking up with Szoboszlai, forced a little bit further wide, but he tries to come across and then he's met by Murillo, who just clatters the ball into the Sir Kenny Dalglish stand over on the far side.
Wasn't he superb, Robertson, the way he spoke after the game, the Scotland game? I mean, quite often footballers, you get versions of robots after games, and you get the stock answers. I just thought to see his personality and him be so open and honest in an interview, it was a really, really good interview.
And also a reminder of the impact of the death of Diogo Jota is having on a human nature for these Liverpool players. Millwall are down to 10 men as they trail 2-0 at Portsmouth. Cheltenham lead Bristol Rovers by 1-0, and it's Crewe 3, Chesterfield 3 at Gresty Road in League 2. Owain Gwyneth, Wales, New Zealand in the rugby.
New Zealand have found a fourth try. Rico Ioane with the score, capitalising on a loose ball from a cross-field kick. New Zealand previously had 2 tries disallowed, but this restores a 10-point lead. Wales 21, New Zealand 31.
Liverpool midway through their own half with Jones. Chiesa gets a touch, McAllister passes the ball forward, Szoboszlai now runs into an area of space and then pushes the ball forward to the feet of Salah. Salah again, though, challenged by Williams. He's had a terrific game, the Nottingham Forest left-back, up against Mo Salah today. As we go to Brighton now and Chris Coles.
The pressure finally tells. Brighton have equalised and Danny Welbeck has his goal. Brilliantly found, far right-hand side. Welbeck beats his marker, slides into the bottom corner. Brighton 1, Brentford 1.
Van Dijk looked a little exposed there. He's just fouled Igor Jesus, and Forest have been awarded a direct free kick some 25-26 yards out from goal in a central position. Paul Robinson.
I've been very unimpressed with Liverpool defensively today. We normally talk about Virgil van Dijk and Konate last season. They were the mainstay, and a lot of the reason they won games when they weren't particularly playing well, they'd keep clean sheets and they'd have shutouts. But with Szoboszlai playing as that right back earlier in the game, now Curtis Jones going back in there, the relationship between Van Dijk and Konate not playing well at all. Kirk has obviously been changed now for Robertson. The imbalance defensively, there's so many holes in that Liverpool back four.
Igor Jesus there was flat out on his back. He's clearly got cramp as one of the players was just bending back the toes of his right leg. But this is a free kick that you've got Gibbs-White, you've got Murillo, and also Williams is involved in that 3-man conflab. Now Murillo went to place it earlier. The way he's just taken some strides back, he might be going for power here. Forest lead by 2-0. They've got a direct free kick. Gibbs-White is also eyeing it up. Gibbs-White runs forward now into the wall, comes back towards Gibbs-White, still can't get a sight of goal. Szoboszlai will run it away for Liverpool, but they didn't have many runners going ahead. Robertson then will go long. Chiesa tries to flick it on. Ekitike will get there first before Savona tries to come in between the two, slips, and there is Milinkovic again. That central defensive partnership has been quite exceptional for Forest.
Warriors, absolute warriors, the pair of them. And when one of them gets caught out of position, the other one's there to cover. It's been a really impressive defensive display, especially by those two.
News of that red card at Fratton Park. Paul Scott.
Portsmouth are 2 goals to the good, and now they have the numerical advantage as well. Joe Bryan shown a straight red card for a lunge on the halfway line on substitute Callum Lang, the referee producing a straight red. Millwall 2-0 down and down to 10 men.
In the Scottish Premiership, the leaders Hearts Aberdeen tomorrow, St Mirren Celtic is tonight. These are the latest scores. Dundee United 0, Falkirk 3, Hibs 2, Dundee 0, Kilmarnock 1, Motherwell 3, Rangers 1, Livingston 1. So it means that Dundee are currently now bottom of the Scottish Premiership. We'll give you the latest scores in League 2, League 1 and the Championship as we wind ourselves up towards Sports Report here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Also live across the world on the World Service. And Liverpool, who had won 4 of their 5 games at Anfield. They've lost just 1 of their last 22 at home since Forest beat them last September. They were looking for home comforts. There aren't any on the resumption after the international break. Allison up towards Ekatike, not at the minute. Milinkovic tight behind him, gives away a free kick. Fleetwood 3, Shrewsbury Town 0 is the latest score in League 2. Szoboszlai now runs forward and out towards Salah, but quickly closed down by Williams. Salah comes on the inside, Szoboszlai remains. Szoboszlai to the edge of the area, goes into the box, runs into Murillo. Couldn't get the shot away.
He's there again. Szoboszlai, for all the world, looked like he was just about to pull the trigger and get the shot away. Past 2 Nottingham Forest defenders. Murillo reads the game so well, sweeps in behind his defenders and thwarts the danger.
Here is Jones, tries to turn and keeps his balance and gets it back from McAllister, and then Jones overruns it. And there was Anderson. There have been so many standout players for Nottingham Forest here today, as Van Dijk is the one. He's shaking his head as he makes the challenge against Igor Jesus and has to concede a throw. Back to Fratton Park and Paul.
73 minutes on the clock. They may be down to 10 men, but Millwall are right back in this one. A corner from the right-hand side, met by the volley of Ivanovic into the bottom corner. Pompey 2, Millwall 1, game on.
Reading have equalised at home to Rotherham, 1-1 in League 1. Wimbledon 1, Wigan Athletic 1 is also a latest scoreline in League 1. Nottingham Forest lead by 2-0 in the Premier League earlier. Burnley 0, Chelsea 2. Bournemouth 1, West Ham United 2. Brighton and Hove Albion 1, Brentford 1. Fulham Sunderland remains goalless, and live on Sports Extra, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Crystal Palace 2. Hutchison for Nottingham Forest, the diminutive player that they signed from Ipswich on this right-hand side. Chiesa goes to track him, and then again he waits and intelligently wins a corner off the legs of Robertson.
Sean Dyche is not going to have a voice at the end of this. That technical area is absolutely barking orders. I mean, mind you, he's not got much of a voice before this, has he? But he's absolutely barking orders. Stood looking at his watch, entering the last 15 minutes. His side are in such a good position.
They were one of 4 sides yet to win away from home in the Premier League. In fact, in all competitions, they were yet to have success on their travels this season. 4 draws and 4 defeats, but they're 15 minutes away from changing all that. Oldham 2, Newport County 0. Wycombe Wanderers 2, Lincoln City 2 is the latest score in League 1. Anderson in front of the Kop, right-hand side, right-footed, outswinger, and the header from Jesus straight at Allison. Allison bowls the ball towards Szoboszlai. They just haven't really fired this second half, Liverpool. I can't recall a clear-cut opportunity that they've been able to create.
Look at the amount of attacking players that they've got on the pitch as well. They've just taken Isak off. Chiesa, Gakpo, Salah. You look at the quality of players that they've got there. They're just not finding any routine, any rhythm. It's all very slow, pedestrian-like, and it's rotation of possession again. Once again, they're in a good area, but they choose to turn out and rotate possession around the pitch.
Normally you'd watch a game and you could sense that a goal is coming. At the minute, as a neutral's point of view, I've got to say I can't see a goal coming for Liverpool at this stage. MK Dons have got a goal back. Tranmere Rovers 2, MK Dons 1. Conscious with 15 minutes remaining, in fact less than that. We've got to still get through the latest scores in League 2, League 1 and the Championship. But here is Van Dijk now midway through the Nottingham Forest half to Gravenberch. So that is essentially now the 2 central defenders passing the ball to each other. Again it goes out wide, but again Forest have done their job very, very well, doubling up on Salah. There's no way through. They've got to go back and across once more of Liverpool as they play from right to left. And there's going to be another player coming on for Liverpool, and it's going to be Ungamoa who's going to be coming on. He scored that dramatic win against Liverpool. You can hear the frustration from the Anfield crowd. They're passing the ball from side to side. They go short and forward towards Chiesa, but they can't find a way through. Chiesa swings over the cross. There is Williams to head the ball away. Gravenberch now gives it towards McAllister. His 50th game in charge for Arne Slot isn't going to be a winning one. Szoboszlai shoots from distance through a crowd of bodies, saved by Sells. MK Dons are down to 10 men. Lecco has been sent off. Tranmere 2, MK Dons 1. Charlie Slater at Craven Cottage.
10 minutes left. Fulham 0, Sunderland 0. But there's desperation to this Fulham performance now in the pouring rain. Emile Smith-Rowe had a rocket of a volley flash against the outside of the netting. Fulham knocking at the door, 0-0.
Curtis Jones is the player who's going to be coming off for Ungamoa. Gives us an opportunity to give you the latest scores in League 2, as Barnsley have got a 5th goal at home to Luton Town in League 1. The 2 results then earlier: Gillingham 1, Barnet 1, Harrogate Town 0, Walsall 2. That took Walsall top. However, with Swindon at the moment, I'll give you the latest score from Swindon. After Barrow 0, Cambridge 1, Bromley 2, Salford 0, Cheltenham 1, Bristol Rovers 0. Bristol Rovers looking for a 7th straight defeat, or trying to avoid a 7th straight defeat. Here is Hutchison meanwhile, good save by Allison, And the loose ball is put in by Morgan Gibbs-White, who for the first time in his career has scored in 3 successive league games to surely wrap up the 3 points with 3 goals for Nottingham Forest. What a day for Forest. But the reigning champions have been humbled at home. Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 3.
3 goals, 3 points. Nottingham Forest, the away section to our left-hand side erupts. They're absolutely delighted, and it's nothing more than they deserve. It's a superb finish from Morgan Gibbs-White with his left foot into the bottom left-hand corner of Alisson's goal. And for the first time in a long time, Anfield starts to empty 10 minutes before the end. The Nottingham Forest fans away to our left, absolutely delirious. Wonderful finish from Morgan Gibbs-White. Left foot to Hutchinson, test Alisson, who all he can do is parry the ball back out into the path of Gibbs-White. It's a decent strike from Hutchinson, and it's a first-time finish from Morgan Gibbs-White, and that gives Nottingham Forest all 3 points.
And make no mistake, this is thoroughly deserved for Nottingham Forest. They are heading for the exits in their droves around Anfield as the Forest fans celebrate, and Morgan Gibbs-White with his 4th goal of the season. Meanwhile, Bournemouth, Sahel side.
Level things up here, Ian. It's Bournemouth 2, West Ham 2, and Ennis, who now just coming off the bench, making an immediate impact. He was slipped through by Senesi, and he finished very coolly. Bournemouth are pouring forward in search of the winning goal. Bournemouth 2, West Ham 2.
I think we've got up to League 2, Cheltenham 1, Bristol Rovers 0, Crawley 1, Accrington 1, Crewe 3, Chesterfield 3, Fleetwood leads Shrewsbury by 3 goals to 0, Notts County 1, Colchester 2, Oldham 2, Newport County 0, Swindon, who were 2-0 up, now drawing 2-2 at home to Grimsby. That's why Walsall are still top, and Tranmere Rovers 2, MK Dons 1. Well, here is Ungamoa, and then he shows too much of the ball and overruns it, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. Latest scores in League One and the Championship to come after another goal at Ibrox with Kenny Crawford.
80 minutes gone and Rangers have finally got themselves back in front. Rangers 2, Livingston 1, and it's Ivory Coast midfielder Mo Diomande who tapped in. It was originally flagged offside. Everyone thought it was a clear offside, but then VAR checked it and gave it. Rangers 2, Livingston 1.
MK Dons are now level at Prenton Park. Tranmere 2, MK Dons 2. The result earlier in the only early kick-off in League One was Port Vale 0, Plymouth 1. The latest scores are this: Wimbledon 1, Wigan 1, Barnsley 5, Luton Town 0. In the big game, Bolton Wanderers against Bradford City. That is goalless. Leyton Orient 1, Blackpool 0. Leyton Orient are down to 10 men. Mansfield 1, Huddersfield Town 3. Northampton 1, Cardiff City 2. Reading 1, Rotherham United 1. Stevenage and Doncaster is goalless. Stevenage, who are still unbeaten at home in League One. And Wycombe Wanderers 2, Lincoln City 2. Latest scores in the Championship with 9 minutes remaining. But surely it's too much now for Liverpool. 3-0 down. As here is McAllister, edge of the area. This will be Arne Slot's heaviest home defeat in the Premier League. They lost 3-0 at home to Crystal Palace in the League Cup, and of course they suffered a 3-0 defeat at Manchester City. But Nottingham Forest leading by 3 goals to 0. 1963 was the last time they recorded back-to-back league wins at Anfield. Ungamoa left-hand side, and then stubs the ball into the ground. Savona will clear. Charlie Slater at Fulham.
Where Fulham finally have the breakthrough. 84 minutes on the clock. A break down the left-hand side. Ball crossed into the penalty area. Raul Jimenez throws himself at it and deflects it into the back of the net from inside 6 yards. It's Fulham 1, Sunderland 0.
Chiesa's just put the ball over the bar from just inside the area, central position. Probably Liverpool's best chance in the second half.
That sums up their afternoon, it really does. It's a great opportunity for Chiesa. He's 13, 14 yards out, centre of the goal. He just leans back and sends it high up into the Nottingham Forest fans, who are not in a rush to give him the ball back.
These then are the latest scores in the Championship. Bristol City, well, the results were Bristol City 3, Swansea 0, Charlton 1, Southampton 5. Southampton scoring all 5 goals in the first half, and Coventry, the leaders, coming from behind to beat West Bromwich Albion by 3 goals to 2. As Frank Lampard's side continue to dominate the Championship at the top. Latest scores: Birmingham 4, Norwich 1. That would be without a win in 12. Philippe Clement, his first game in charge. Derby County 2, Watford 1. Ipswich 0, Wrexham 0. Leicester City 2, Stoke 1. Oxford 1, Middlesbrough 1. Portsmouth 2, Millwall 1, Queen's Park Rangers 3, Hull City 2. So the two closest sides to Frank Lampard's Coventry are not winning to close the gap. Here then is Gakpo, gives it inside towards Salah, blocked again by Forest, and it's Fleetwood 3, Shrewsbury 1. There's been a late goal at Brighton, Chris Coles.
From 1-0 down, Brighton now lead 2-1, and it's Jack Hinshelwood off the bench to potentially win it for Brighton. Not the best goal, scrappy, Hinshelwood's volley, not cleanly connected with, but it beat Kelleher. Brighton 2, Brentford 1.
A swivelling Gakpo with a header that drops off target and out for a goal kick, and Nottingham Forest are going to make changes. We'll get an update in the Rugby Union in Wales from Owen Gwyneth.
Severis has crossed for the 5th try for the All Blacks. The visitors turning to the power game, wearing Wales down. Wales now looking tired. 15 minutes to go. Wales 21, New Zealand 38.
Has this been almost a perfect performance for Sean Dyche's side, would you say?
He'll be delighted. He will be absolutely delighted. We spoke before the game about him playing things down. He's one of those managers who doesn't get too high when they win or not too low when they lose, but he will be absolutely delighted with what he's seen from his team, because they've carried out a game plan exactly how he would have asked them to do it. It's a perfect away performance from Nottingham Forest. You can see the way that they've set up, you can see it straight off the training ground, and what performances like this do is spread belief. When you come to a ground like Anfield, OK, Liverpool are underperforming at the moment, they're not the team they were 12 months ago, but actually to come to Anfield and, one, to get a win, but two, to dominate the game the way that they have, and the performance that he's got from his team, the belief that will spread through that dressing room, because the messages that he's given the players are working for them.
Well, Nuno Espirito Santo, 4 points from 3 games in 24 days. Ange Postecoglou in 39 days, 1 point from 5 games. And Sean Dyche, 32 days in charge, will have picked up 7 points from 4 games. As Wigan Athletic now lead at Wimbledon by 2-1. Hudson-Odoi is going to replace Undoy, and then the other player coming off, we wait to see down below, as Ryan Yates, who celebrated his 28th birthday yesterday, also waits to come on. In the meantime, we'll go to Bournemouth and Sahelside,
where we've still got 2 minutes to play. It's Bournemouth 2, West Ham 2, but Bournemouth just denied a third goal twice by Areola. First denying Evan Nielsen and then Unal. Bournemouth 2, West Ham 2.
Under 4 minutes remaining. Igor Jesus is coming off for Yates. Hudson-Odoi to replace Undoy. Sean Dyche, who will now turn his attentions to Malmo at home in the Europa League on Thursday, and that evokes memories for those of us of a certain age of Trevor Francis with that far post diving header from that European Cup final in 1979. But there is a momentum building within Forest, and Sean Dyche is going to have that two-pronged assault on, getting Forest away from the relegation zone, and they will be moving out of the relegation zone with these 3 points, and also trying to take them far into European competition as well.
They repeat the performance of today, they won't ever see that relegation zone again this season. No. A performance like that they've given today, they've been excellent. They really have. Everybody to a man has performed at their very best level, and as a team they've looked like a really good unit.
Chiesa has just been shown a yellow card for kicking the ball away, more in frustration for Liverpool, who losing 3-0 here at home, and they can have few complaints. As Nottingham Forest with a corner kick, in swinger, Alisson gathers the ball in, and Forest quickly running back, Milenkovic and Murillo, and then Alisson has given the ball away to Hutchison with that clearance, and he goes and then delivers a low ball back towards the Brazilian goalkeeper. We've got 3 minutes remaining. Barrow 0, Cambridge United 2 is a latest score. So we gave you the latest scores in the Championship. We've just got the in the Premier League. The result earlier was Burnley 0, Chelsea 2. Bournemouth 2, West Ham United 2. Brighton and Hove Albion have come from behind. They lead Brentford 2-1. Fulham with that late goal, a 1-0 up against Sunderland. Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest here. And Wolves 0, Crystal Palace 2. That would be 12 Premier League games without a win. And in the previous 7 times that it's occurred in the history of the Premier League, only 3 teams have actually survived after being winless after 12 matches in the Premier League. So Wolves have it all to do to survive. Nottingham Forest, though, moving out and moving up. and not looking back on the evidence of today. And we're up to date with the goals as they go in. Apart from Wycombe 3, Lincoln City 2 is the latest in League One. Forlorn now for Liverpool. McAllister on the stretch, not once but twice, and in fact catching Sangari as well in the process. And that'll be a free kick to Nottingham Forest. Paul Robinson.
He's been excellent as well, Sangari. Him and Anderson, the understanding that those two have got the protection that they've given the Nottingham Forest back four. Speak about Milenkovic and Murillo, the understanding and the pairing that they've got at the centre-back pairing. But actually Sangari and Anderson, they're providing a real shield for them.
Stoppage then here at Anfield. It's a rapidly emptying stadium. I would imagine the same is at Molineux. Pat Murphy.
It is indeed. Wolves are 2-0 down. Rob Edwards still gesturing towards his players, still kicking every ball, but two emphatic finishes from Munoz and Pino round about the hour mark have given Palace what's going to be a deserved victory. A couple of minutes to go. It's Wolves 0, Palace 2.
To Craven Cottage, Charlie Slater.
5 minutes of additional time. Fulham still leading by 1-0. Ball to Emile Smith-Rowe, who fluffs his lines. Fulham close to a second, desperately hanging on though to a precious 3 points. 1-0.
That's on Sports Extra. Oldham 3, Newport County 0 is the latest score in League 2. We're inside the last 60 seconds here at Anfield. Nottingham Forest with just one defeat in 6 since Sean Dyche was appointed, are going to go 4 games unbeaten. He'll want that clean sheet, will Sean Dyche, make no mistake about it, as they safely marshal the ball out for a goal kick. And we're inside the last 30 seconds of the normal 90, and there will be 5 additional minutes as Nottingham Forest, for the first time away from home, will be beating the reigning champions in the top flight since Manchester United back in '94. The aggregate score in the previous 6 games has been 24-2. Well, they've certainly turned that statistic on its head today, as Watford have got a late equaliser at Derby in the Championship. Derby County 2, Watford 2. Don't forget, after Sports Report, we'll bring you as much results and reaction as we possibly can, including the cricket, of course, where Australia beat England with 8 wickets. The first 2-day Ashes test for the first time since 1921. But as much reaction as we can from the football. Here is Hutchinson. Hutchinson tries to get a shot away, blocked by Robertson, and then we've got another commentary coming up at 5:30. Newcastle, Manchester City with Conor McNamara and Jonathan Woodgate, and then it's 6:06. But here, Forest are still looking for more goals. Such is the hunger and the desire coursing through these players.
This is done. This game's over. You can see the body language from the Liverpool players. Just entered into 5 minutes of added time. Nottingham Forest have got another corner, another set piece away on the right hand side in front of the Kop. Such a good performance from them today. You run out of superlatives. They really have been excellent today, Nottingham Forest, the way that they've set up. But as usual, the story will be about Liverpool and how poor that they've been. We'll be guilty of that. We'll be picking the bones out of how poor they've been, where they've faltered. But actually Nottingham Forest take a lot of credit from today.
Frustration for Liverpool. Forest have been flawless. We're into added time. This is BBC Radio 5 Live and the World Service, as those that remain inside Anfield with a rendition of You'll Never Walk Alone. Portsmouth 3, Millwall 1 is the latest score in the Championship. Remember, Millwall down to 10 men. And Wolves 0, Crystal Palace 2 is a result, as Ngamoa picks the ball up on the left-hand side towards Ekatike. But chances have been at a premium for Liverpool in this second half. Here is Chiesa to Salah, looking just for a consolation. Salah works over the cross, gathered in by Sells. It's going to be a first clean sheet for Matt Sells since April against Manchester United. He'd gone 19 games in the top flight without keeping a clean sheet.
And do you know what? He's not had to work that hard for it.
He hasn't.
That tells you a lot about the Liverpool performance and the defensive performance that Nottingham Forest have put in front of him. But actually, what does that tell you about Liverpool and where they are, especially at home? They've created very, very little. Very little.
Chiesa in the second half over the top, Szoboszlai and Anderson. Maybe it'd have been different had Anderson not got in the way of McAllister's goal-bound effort. But Liverpool have created, apart from that, not a great deal. Northampton 1, Cardiff City 3, a latest score in League One, and we are halfway through the allotted 5 minutes. And Sean Dyche will be extremely satisfied, as he still has those burly shoulders of his standing tall, watching on, and the Forest fans not moving anywhere, swinging the red and white half scarves around their head in the bottom tier of the Anfield Road end away towards our left.
He's one of those, Sean Dyche. He'll go into the dressing room, he'll go into the coach's room, he'll construct his after-match team talk go into the dressing room, he might give a little bit, yes, well done, and then everything will be very balanced. But he'll go back into his coach's room and he might just let out a little bit of enjoyment with his coaches behind closed doors, because this is a superb result for Nottingham Forest.
Penalty at Brighton, Chris Coles.
Which has just been saved by Bart Verbruggen. Igor Thiago, who's already scored one penalty in this game, had the chance to draw Brentford level with just 1 minute to play, but Verbruggen saves to his right, and it's still Brighton 2, Brentford 1.
Derby County 2, Watford 3. Watford have got what could be a late winner in the Championship, and Fleetwood are down to 10 men. James Bolton has been sent off, but they still lead Shrewsbury in injury time by 3-1 in League 2. Blackpool have got an injury time equaliser at Leyton Orient. Leyton Orient 1, Blackpool 1 is a latest score in League 1, and we'll get news of the developments at Portsmouth. Paul Scott.
Portsmouth surely heading for all 3 points now. They lead 10-man Millwall 3-1. Jordan Williams picking up the ball 40 yards from goal. He cut in field, he kept on going, and he unleashed from the edge of the box into the top corner. Pompey 3, Millwall 1.
Fulham have beaten Sunderland by 1-0. McAllister lets it run through towards Chiesa. Still the block comes in. Still these Forest players just will not break. They still are throwing themselves in front of absolutely everything. Bournemouth 2, West Ham 2 is the result. All the results, all the reaction coming up with Sports Report and Mark Chapman very, very soon. But we've got seconds remaining. Your thoughts, Paul Robinson?
What a block that was from Murillo at this stage of the game in the 94th minute. Winning 3-0. Looked for the whole world at Szoboszlai. He had a clear strike on goal from 12, 13 yards out. And Murillo's taken a really painful one. You can imagine where he's taken it. But it's a clear shot. It's Chiesa actually. And Murillo just throws himself in front of Matt Sells like a great big star, Peter Schmeichel style. Takes one right in the midriff. Incredible block from the Nottingham Forest central defender.
Yeah, he'll be wincing and his eyes will be watering, as the full-time score is Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 3, and Forest a thoroughly deserved victory. First time in 62 years they've had back-to-back wins at this stadium. There can be no complaints. Murillo with the first goal in the over 33 minutes. They had a goal disallowed. They then caught Liverpool cold early in the second half with Savona, and then Gibbs-White wrapped it up 12 minutes from time. Paul Robinson.
What a performance from Nottingham Forest, first of all. A brilliant away performance from Sean Dyche's team. The structure, the game plan that they came here with, it was carried out to an absolute T. It was perfection from an away team. Yes, Liverpool will grab the headlines because once again it's another defeat on home soil for them, this time after the Manchester City performance. Listen, let's not forget they beat Real Madrid here a couple of weeks ago. They've got problems, but the problems are not too deep rooted. They're just not clicking into top gear. There's frustration, you can see the body language on the players. Defensively they've got a problem. They look so unbalanced without a natural right back playing there. Arne Slot's walking around now applauding what Liverpool fans are left inside the stadium. But it's Nottingham Forest who'll take the plaudits away to our left in front of those travelling fans. A fantastic victory for Sean Dyche, one that will breed confidence and belief in that dressing room.
And I mentioned that statistic about Forest in 1963. Liverpool haven't lost consecutive league games by 3 goals or more since April 1965. It's finished here at Anfield. Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 3.